sections on what I call counter-assault training. And I'm giving a handout simply because it will keep me on task and keep me on task, and it gives you something to work from, so you know where I'm going. Okay. Most self-defense training is oriented around the fact that a person has been attacked and now you are going to defend yourself against the attack. And most martial arts systems teach self-defense, okay? But because we look at it from a martial arts point of view, we realize that we really aren't being that defensive. You know, the best defense is a good offense. And even in the process of defending yourself, you are being proactive in what you're doing. And a lot of the training that martial artists have, self-defense courses don't provide because they don't have the time, or maybe the approach is you're going to defend yourself, which to me is a negative approach. Okay, something has happened to you already, and now you've got to fix whatever went wrong that you didn't do. And the counter-assault trainings orient more about you or the student being proactive and doing things to avoid confrontations, but if you end up in confrontations, is to give you a few physical skills that can be used in a whole variety of situations. It's not something where we're going to teach different techniques for different attacks, because I've taught this course to teachers and other adults, and I'm sorry you have to follow the KISS theory, which is keep it simple, students, or keep it simple, sensei, but the simpler you keep it, the more successful they're going to be. It is not, and I will lose half my students the first meeting because I simply say, when you get done with this class, which normally is about 12 to 14 hours, you are not going to be able to defend yourself. That's going to take you about a year of practice until it becomes automatic. And then when it becomes automatic, you have a good chance of being able to successfully defend yourself. Okay. And that causes a lot of people to leave because they don't like that approach. But that's the reality. It doesn't matter whether you're teaching a 10-hour course or a 30-hour course or a 50-hour course. It takes about a year to get that skill level up. Okay. So anyway, and we also include a number of other things because most of the time you can avoid confrontations or situations where a person might be attacked. Okay. Law enforcement calls it situational awareness. I like the term. It's basically being aware of who you are, where you're at, and what's going on. It does not mean becoming paranoid, because that's one of the things that will make you a good victim, is the appearance of being paranoid. And I have personal risk factors, location and time. It's okay to walk around most of the streets in Santa Clarita around 3 o'clock in the morning. You're pretty safe. I would not do that in downtown Los Angeles. Okay, so there are areas that are safe to walk in. There are areas that are not safe. There are areas that are isolated. You don't mind, you want to have people around, but you really don't want it to be really highly crowded, because things can happen to you without person stolen, pickpockets, etc. And you're, by the time you figured out what happened, the person has disappeared, and you have no chance of finding them, assuming you want to chase them. Streets are really important. Generally, it's a good rule to walk against the flow of traffic. Assuming you're on a sidewalk, but you walk against the flow of traffic because the flow of vehicular traffic, not pedestrian traffic. Because you can see inside of cars from the windshield. Okay. Whereas if you're walking with the way cars are parked, you can't see what's going inside the car, and there could be someone who wants to come out and get you. But if you can see the front, you kind of have a better chance of knowing what's going on. Also, if the sidewalk is wide enough, you must stay towards the middle. Because this keeps you away from cars, it keeps you away from sides of buildings where there are unique personalities that hang out, but sometimes between buildings. And if you're not within range, they will confront you. Appearance, okay. Your physical appearance is a real good determinant on whether or not you will be a victim. And a lot of this comes out of the California, California State University at San Quentin and other places like that. Okay.
Is that a prison?
That's a prison. Okay. Because, California is very pro-education. Anyway, that's what it is. What are we, 47th to 49th on this, in terms of education? Anyway, appearance. If you walk like a normal person, okay, now my number one liability is this growth here, okay, which is a lot less than it was several weeks ago. But if you're walking pigeon-toed or knock-kneed, or if your hands are facing backwards, which means your shoulders are slouching, or you're this way, which means anything that takes you away from the norm increases your chances of being a victim. Okay, your age. Okay. Now, people might pick on Denny because he's older. Bad move.
He looks so young.
He looks young. Bad move. Okay. But usually a person's age is a factor. Their weight distribution is a factor. How they look. Are they walking normally? Are they all looking around scared? Or are they a total airhead? Blindly going forth? Are they texting? Or do they have the earbuds in their ears and can't hear anything that's going on? All of these go into making you a victim. Okay, and it's really hard to get people to be aware of this and not be paranoid. Your clothing. Okay, if you ever do a presentation of this sort in front for a women's group, you get 3 women ahead of time. You have one dressed very conservatively. Okay, if they have a fanny pack, you have one dressed, if you can, like a prostitute. Okay, and then you have one dressed in a house coat, hair and curlers, chewing gum, no makeup, the whole 9 yards. Okay, and then you have the rest of the audience guess which one makes the most likely victim. Okay, Leo, who would you choose?
Probably the one with the nice makeup.
The one with the nice makeup? Okay.
No. Oh no, with makeup or without makeup?
Well, you've got one who's looks really sexy, trying to pick up any guy on the street you can. And you've got one that's dressed very conservatively, and then you've got one that is in a house dress. Hair is not done, no makeup, maybe hair curlers, chewing gum.
I picked that one.
You picked that one.
I'm picking the conservative one.
You would
Conservative.
what?
Conservative one with khakis and a fanny pack.
Okay. Why would you pick the?
It's just less attractive. I mean,
No, if you were choosing a rape victim, would you choose that one?
probably not.
Okay. And we're approaching this from middle class values. That's part of our problem here. Usually the one you would be most likely to be successful with would be the one who's in the house dress, no makeup, etc. Because it shows, what does it show?
Familiarity.
What?
Familiarity.
Not familiarity.
Kind of a lack of caring.
Lack of caring, lack of self-worth. Okay, they don't care how they look. Okay? And this is just something that you have to be aware of. Yes, the one that's dressed like the prostitute is probably number 2. Okay? Or it's an undercover police officer. Yes?
I've done some reading on this because I teach women quite a bit, and I've heard that women that wear skirts a lot, that's a very big indicator for someone to be trying to attack them.
Yes.
Or if they have a ponytail, because it's a good
Yes,
way to grab them.
right,
What about
yeah.
high-heeled shoes?
High heel
You're not
shoes
very
make,
mobile.
no, you're not mobile in those. So if you're out if you're out in an area where you're not sure of, those are the worst things to wear, because you can't run in them, you've got to take them off and run. But those spike heels make really, the other side of the coin is if you have enough presence of mind, you can take them off and put one in your hand.
It's a great weapon.
They are really good weapons, okay? And there are assailants who have been assaulted with them, and it's not a pleasant experience.
Boxers whose mothers of their opponents have come after them.
Right, right, the shoot, so, yes.
Okay, well, which one was the most susceptible? The curler?
The one
versus
that curler,
the-
because it shows low self-esteem, low self-worth. So it's easy, they're more likely to give in than either of the other two. The more conservatively dressed person is probably more aware of their surroundings. And because they're probably wearing pants rather than a skirt, they're going to be more difficult to get to. And they can run faster. They're not worried about, running things. They're probably wearing decent shoes. All these things factor into making them a less desirable victim. Okay, and that's all you're really trying to do with your appearance is make yourself a less desirable target. Okay. We did behavior a little bit. Okay, proactive prevention. I'm trying to get through this, and part of this is I want to get to some of the basic physical techniques you're going to use, and then either tomorrow or Sunday we'll actually go through a variety of different attacks and you'll use these same techniques for that. Situational awareness is simply being aware of what's going on around you. Okay, it's knowing. One of the summer camps we did a few years ago, we dealt with escape routes. Okay, and most people figured out with all these doors that there are 3 escape routes from this room. Okay, well there's actually 4 if you go through that door, but most people didn't know that through that door is another door. Okay, and you can lock that door and give yourself some safety until you get out here. But anyway, so it's kind of knowing where you're at, knowing where you can go. Escape route also means being able to run someplace. If you're going to run, you need to know where you're running to. You don't just run for the heck of it. So in any case, be aware of that. What else do we have? Escape route. Middle course basically means walking down the sidewalk, you stay in the middle of the sidewalk. Okay. If you're walking with a herd of people and you're not in any particular rush, stay in the middle. Okay. If you're a little more concerned about your safety, sometimes I say stay to the side. But you kind of need to see how the traffic flow is going as to where you want to be. Distractors. Okay. Move barbed wire here. Now, part of being successful on the street, and Michael is fantastic at this. At last year's camp, where we had the attackers and the ball. Was it last year? The previous year? Okay. If you have your head together, there are some common things that people use to distract you, to rob you, or what have you. And if you have your head together, I call it verbal jujitsu. You can basically turn the wall where instead of them being in charge, you're in charge and have it done. So, for example, if he comes up to me and says, "What time is it?" Or if I go up to, see, I don't know what Brian's response is. Do you know what time it is?
Sure. Yeah.
See, he's been distracted. Okay. On the other hand, if he comes up to me and says,
Hey, do you know what time it is?
it's about 9:20. Okay. I haven't looked at the clock for a while. Okay. But if you do that, you're giving them an immediate response. It's not what they expected. You have the initiative here. Or, again,
Do you know what time it is?
no, but let's go ask this person over here. Okay, so if you do something, rather than give them the response that they're expecting, they may be thrown off, because this person does not want a third person involved. Okay. If you give them the time to say, I'm sorry, I don't know, and you just go off and walk, that's effective too. Okay? What you're doing is not getting caught in their discussion. Okay? Another thing they'll ask for is, you got change for a 10?
Oh, yeah, let me see.
You're amazed at how many people will say, yeah, and they take out their wallet, and you take it from them. Okay? And your response has to be,
You have change for 10?
no, I don't, I'm sorry, I don't have any money. You're gone. Okay? You don't get into their discussion. Okay. Can you help me?
What do you mean?
Okay? Now, Byron's not really wrong. He didn't have a script. He doesn't have a script. Byron's not really wrong here. Okay, so what do you need? Okay. What would be another response? Most people have these things, so what would be?
Cell phone?
What's wrong?
What?
Get your cell phone out.
Get your cell phone out. Do I need to call 911? Okay. You give them, you're doing something, because you may need 911 anyway. And most cell phones will have, if you remember, they usually have a single number, whatever it is, and you can get 911 with, or you have it on your close favorites or whatever it is. And you can get to 911 fairly fast. Okay. There are other things with cell phones, we're not going to get into them here. They do make good weapons. You're in downtown Santa Clarita. Can you tell me where Sicily's is?
I think it's...
Okay, most people know where Sicily's is, or many people know where Sicily's is. Okay, now, what your response should be is, or he says, okay, go ahead.
You know where Sicily's is?
It's in that direction down there. Okay, and all you do is give them a simple, go that way, turn right, or say, you go back to the time thing. You get another, do you know where Sicily's is? Okay, get another person involved. Okay, because the more people you have with you, the less likely he is going to try anything with you. Because now he's got multiple people to deal with. Okay, what do we have for? Another thing to do with multiple people is I'm done with that. Okay. Most kids are told don't hang out in gangs. Okay. What is one reason for gangs?
Safety.
Pardon?
Safety.
Safety. Okay. So if you get older people that are going shopping someplace, they go in a herd, and that's for their mutual safety. So if you can go someplace with friends, particularly if it's an area you're not aware of, you're less likely to become a victim because there's more of you. Okay? And nothing is worse than 6 or 7 little old ladies with handbags that are really heavy. Okay. And what you could do if you were teaching this class is that at this point you would segue asking someone for their handbag, and then you go through and ask if you can go through it, because most women have a ton of stuff in there that can be used as weapons that they don't know about. Okay. And that's it's just it's more what you're trying to do is create awareness to that they have control over what's happening. Okay, for your car, I put down lock and load. I came up with that a couple of days ago because it seemed like a nice phrase. We tend to use that more for firearms, but lock and load goes well with a car too. Okay, keep your car locked. Whether you're in it, you're not in it, you keep it locked. You can keep the windows up. Most cars today are designed to get better gas mileage if the windows are closed, because you don't get that airflow coming into the car and messing up with the airflow around the car, etc. Assuming you have air conditioning that works. You want your car to have, ideally, at least a half a tank of gas. Nothing is worse than being pursued and running out of gas. Make sure your tires are in good condition. Make sure it works, because nothing is worse than getting trapped in a vehicle that dies. If you're in a shopping area and you're not sure you're going out of the car, sometimes you get an escort. Either you can walk out with someone else, or you can ask one of the security guards if they're not afraid to come out in the parking lot with you to get to your car. Want someone with you. You approach your car from behind. Okay, this is just the opposite from. This is just the opposite from walking down the street. The reason you approach it from behind is because the front end, probably you've got another car, you've got to go in between cars, and that's a safety hazard, safety risk. So you always approach your car from behind. You can usually see what's going on around. Okay. If there's a van to the left of your car, and you or your husband or spouse is in a high-risk occupation or have a lot of money, it's probably not wise to go to your car at that time, because the door opens, they grab you, you're in, the door closes, they're off. If there are notes on your car, ignore them until you can get to someplace safe. Because most people, they see a note on the front windshield, or worse, on the back window. Okay, they've gotten in their car and put everything aside, they put the key in the ignition, they turn it on, they look up, and oh no, they get out, and someone gets in and walks off with it, drives off with your car. Okay, any notes, you leave it until you're someplace safe. Okay, if you hear sounds coming from under your car, this is the newest one. It used to be when couples got married, someone would tie a bunch of cans on the back end of their car, and they go down the road making all this noise. The same technique is used to you get in your car, you back up here, there's honks out, you stop. You get out of your car, what's going on? Someone drives off with your car. Okay? If your car is working, you drive it until you get to someplace safe. Okay? Okay, because again, it's a distraction to get you out of the car. Driving. Okay, there are a lot of rules for safe driving for civilians. Okay, and I don't want to hit on them all because we could spend an hour or two on them, and I don't want to. Left lane is your safest lane. Anyone know why?
Fast lane.
That's people turning in and out.
Usually the fastest, yes, there are less people cutting in and out, but what else?
Best drivers.
Unless you live in Santa Clarita.
They feel the most comfortable because they're out in the left lane.
Why is the left lane safest in terms of protection?
Not too many cars.
What?
Not too many cars using that lane.
Pardon?
Not too many cars use that lane.
The left lane? Oh yeah, there are a lot of cars that
Left
use
lane?
it, but the left lane to do, but what can you do from the left lane that you can't do from any other lanes? You can, you're halfway there.
U-turn?
Have more
You can do a
choices.
U-turn. Someone's following you. Cross that double line. You know, you can always, if a cop pulls you over for a ticket, that's even better. But you can always explain. Okay. But you're concerned anytime it's your personal safety comes first. Traffic laws come second. Okay. And sometimes the officer will understand, sometimes sometimes you go to court. Even if you have to pay the fine, if it's your personal safety, it's worth it. You want to leave at least half a car length in front of you. Why?
That way if you need to hit the gas and get out of that situation, you're not boxed
You
in.
can change lanes with half a car length.
Drive on the side.
Okay. If you're going to go right up to the person's bumper, you are stuck if you've got a weird person behind you. Okay. And again, it's being proactive. Driving to a safe location. What are the criteria? Okay. If you think you are being followed or pursued, what is a safe location? Anyone want to give me some clear?
Police station?
A police station,
Walmart parking.
Walmart,
Right up at the front.
maybe,
Okay,
where in the,
Walmart-
where in the
Walmart
Walmart
gas
parking
station.
lot?
Right up at the front.
Inside.
Right up in the
Right
front.
up to the front of the fire department.
Fire department. You drive right up to the front door, and that's where you stop your car. You get out, you say, help, I'm being followed, you run into the store. Okay. Your car is out there where it should not be. Tough luck. Okay? You're gonna get back out there before the police get there anyway. So, again, your concern is your personal safety. Some places, sometimes, I've had people say, you go to a parking lot that's well lit. Walmart is very well lit at 3 o'clock in the morning. And there may not be anyone there. Okay, and if there's no one there, it's not safe. You go where there are people. Okay. Okay, choices. And this is mainly, well, California can't be choosy. Purse fanny, etc. Okay, fanny pack. If you're going to carry valuables, fanny, other than guys should have your wallet in your front pocket, not your back pocket. Fanny pack is probably the safest thing to carry. Okay. And if you have a fanny pack, I didn't buy this one because of it. A cable limit. So if someone tries to take, and this is pretty common for people who wear those cheap little backpack purses, they will take, it's actually, what's that thing that, for cutting ruby tiles? It's kind of a curved or tile, floor tiles, what's it called?
Tile cutter.
Tile cutting, and they're really sharp on that edge. And all they do is slip it in, and it can be done so fast, they slip it, take your pack, you're gone, they're gone. Okay, with that in it, it kind of frustrates them. But if you're wearing a purse, you have to choose whether to sling it over this shoulder or this shoulder. It's easier to take, even if it's on the inside held by you, or sling it across your head. I can't do that. But it's safer, but then there's the risk of injury to you if the person really wants to take it. So you have to make a value decision as if you're wearing, got a purse, where you're going to put it. If you plan, if you think you're going to have to defend yourself, whatever you plan to use, pepper spray, perfume, keys, which should be on key should be on sort of a chain, so you can very easily grab a couple and have them sticking through, okay? And you're not going to go poking at the guy, slashing, okay? Because people have trouble poking. There's not a lot of strength behind pokes, but you can slash and that scares a person. Or a Kuotan keychain. Whatever you have, it has to be in your hand because you're not going to have time to get it out and set it up. So if you're not sure and you really want to have something in your hand that you think will protect you, be aware of pepper spray. It may take several seconds before it affects the other person. And some people, depending on how many drugs they're on, it may not affect them at all. And there are also some other guidelines as to whether or not you should use alcohol versus water-based, spray versus stream. Some people have also suggested using a brand of spray called White Anglo-Saxon Protestant spray, because that has a range of about 20 feet. And you don't need any, there's no certification or anything required. If you can't figure that one out, I'll explain it to you after the video is off. Anyway, it has nothing to do with ethnicity. Okay. The more you can talk to your potential assailant, the less likely you will become a victim. Okay? The more you can talk with them. You've got to be able to talk and communicate with this person, and the more you talk with them, it lowers your chances of becoming a victim. You can cooperate up to a point. Maybe if the person, the weapon determines your chance of injury. You have the greatest chance of injury if the person is not armed at all, because they're going to use brute physical force. If they have a knife, you're more likely to cooperate, to a point, no pun intended. If they have a gun, you're even more likely to cooperate, okay? Because you don't want to blow the whole thing. Anyway, another pun. Anyway, so you do cooperate to a point, and that point is to what? What is the point till?
When you believe your life is in imminent danger.
When you believe your life is in imminent danger, or until you are physically attacked. If you sense you're going to be attacked physically, then cooperation stops. Okay, and then at that point, you have to become a total SOB. Okay, you cannot be nice at this point. Okay, now I forgot to do this. And I'm going to use. A lot of if people go shopping and they carry stuff out, they tend to carry it out like this. This is really, your hands are what? Your hands are tied up. Okay.
And they're down at your waist.
And they're down at your waist. You really can't do anything from here. If you're going to carry a couple of bags of groceries, and the recyclable bags really make it a lot easier than the plastic bags. Plastic bags, it's almost impossible to carry them like this. With these, you can. Now there's an advantage. Okay, I'm going to use Peter. Why don't you come up here? And you're going to say, "Hey, good looking, I'd like you to come with me." God, are you hard up? Okay.
Hey, good looking, wanna come with me?
What's happened?
It's a mess. The sweat.
You distracted him.
What did you do? What did you do?
Hands bruised. Draw attention to your predicament real quick with other
You don't
people.
like to watch little accidents.
Right. So anyway, it's just, that's just an example of verbal jujitsu. You have to be able to do things proactive that this person does not expect, and because they don't expect it, it puts you on the offensive, them on the defensive, and that's what you're after. Okay. And it could be a simple, what time is it? It's 9:43. Okay, that far off. Okay, or 9:50, or say, oh, I don't know, but let's go ask. It puts them off because that was not in the script. Okay. Counter assault techniques. Like I said, normally, and we would normally be spending a lot more time on these things. There are a lot of details, and you can, you can go and easily find more details on this stuff. And normally, this stuff would be scattered out throughout the 12 to 14 hours of instruction. Doing this all at once, Leo is dying. He wants to get up and move, right?
That's right.
And the worst thing you can do is, you have to realize most adults have a 20-minute attention span. Okay, if you can get them up and moving after 5 or 10 minutes of talking, which I haven't done here, okay, you're going to be okay. If you want them to sit for 45 minutes, like you guys have done so cooperatively, okay, anything after 20 minutes, unless you're really interested, has gone in one ear and out the other. Okay, you're wasting your time. And then after that, you can have a refresher course 6 months later, and some people will show up for it. But anyway, so that's basically the non-physical aspect of this. It's mainly to get them to be proactive, to do things to prevent them, help prevent themselves from becoming victims, and do it without becoming paranoid. Because if your potential attacker sees that you are paranoid and you're walking around in fear, you've got a nice sign up here that says, I'm a target. Rob me, rape me, whatever. And you don't want them to have it. Okay. Counter-assault training techniques. Everybody stand up, because I'm bored having you sit down. I'm going to have you do something anyway. Okay. One thing you have to stress with your students is your attacker is not following the rules of society. Why should you? Okay, because we tend to think, nice middle class, I can't do this, it isn't nice, excuse. But it really doesn't matter. Your prime concern is to be able to walk away or run away. Your concern is to survive. Your concern is to protect yourself from further injury. And different states have different laws pertaining to that. Okay. California basically says, and I'm not an attorney, basically says, you can do what you need to do to remove yourself from the situation and get away. It does not say you can do whatever is necessary to put this person out of their misery 3 or 4 times and then go about your business. Okay. And different states have different laws pertaining to this. Florida has some other states have the stand your ground, which has some logic to it, but you run into a whole bunch of other gray areas. But in any case, there are no rules when it comes to protecting yourself except to do what?
Survive.
Survive. That's it. And if people are going to be upset with you because you bit another person, we're going to have fun with that in just a minute, okay? Because it's getting close to snack time. Because you bit someone, or because you scratched someone, or because you kicked someone where they shouldn't have been kicked, or you use foul language, that is just tough. Because you were able to walk away. Okay. So we're going to start here. Okay.
More money.
And most of you know all of these techniques. That's what makes this part a little easier. Okay. Most of you know all of these techniques. Okay. Finger thrust is going to be index, middle, or thumb. Okay. Let me borrow Denny. Okay.
You move back just a touch.
Okay, index thrust. Okay, point. Okay, middle finger, like throat or larynx attack. Okay, thumb would be. This would be if you're trying to lead someone else on to kiss you. I mean, you're being. They want to. Part of being successful in dealing with a rape attack is getting this poor idiot to think you're going to go along with the game, because when you're this far along in the attack, it's not something where you can act. Most women cannot actually physically overcome a male. They're not strong enough. Okay. So you have to resort to deceit. And there's nothing wrong with deceit. Okay. And thumb thrust, get closer, Jenny, I won't bite. Is you bring this guy's face up, like you're going to kiss him. Okay, I think everything's cool. You're going to enjoy this.
Let me zoom in. Hold on.
Okay. Turn this way. Okay. You're going to bring, and then you're going to take your thumbs and just slide them in the corner of his mouth. Whoa! Scared me. Okay. And he now has the Joker smile. This will tear fairly easily. Is it nice? Okay. Now you don't put your thumbs in this way. You slide inside and out, because otherwise you're going to run into his teeth. Okay. But it's just really simple to do. Just get him in there, and he thinks, oh, this is cool. She's going to go along with this. Okay. Or he's going to go along with it, and wacko. Okay. It's called a thumb thrust. It's a rip. Okay. So you've got finger, index in some places, middle finger, okay, thumbs, okay, mouth, that'll work for thumb thrust.
Would you do thumbs for eyes too, and gouge eyes?
Eyes I take a different approach on because this doesn't bother women that much. It's on a relativity
Right.
scale. Most people don't want the eyes or thumb like this because they're afraid they are going to blind this person. And then this person becomes dependent upon society and our tax dollars go to, okay, what have you, no. I usually teach scratching across the eyes because if you scratch the cornea, they're not going to see it. It just hurts too much. It's irritating. They're blinking their eyes are watery, and it serves. It's more acceptable to people to scratch than to try and poke the eyes out. Okay, and it's easier to do. The one thing I do suggest for people is that you keep your nails short because if nails get long, they tear. And if they, I can't do anything, I tore my nail. Come back next week. If your nails are short, you can tear until the sun goes down and scratch, and it's not going to damage your nails, except you're going to get some DNA from this guy. So you want your nails short, but I would scratch across or use the keys and rake across the eyes. Okay. And all of those things are medically treatable, or you may just need to go home and put some water on them, whatnot. But if he can't see, you can run. And that's your goal is to run. Okay, get away. What else do we have here? Okay, palm strike. Y'all know it. Anyone not know what palm strike is?
Nose and up, right?
No, to the nose, to the cheekbone. You can even do it to the side base of ribs. These will fracture fairly easily. Okay. None of these are fatal. Okay. I don't do anything to the mouth or teeth because teeth are hard to fix, and the jaw is just a hard thing to hit. It doesn't make much of an impact. Cheekbone will fracture easily. It's not a serious injury. Neither is a broken nose. Neither of them are serious injuries, but psychologically they're very scary. It's blood, pain, they can't see what happened. Okay. And what you're after, you're not necessarily after, your intent can never be to injure this person. Your intent is to create enough fear that they will leave you alone. Okay. And that fear doesn't necessarily have to be physical injury. Okay. Elbow strike. You can't strike with your. This is one of the best things to hit a person with because if you, first of all, you can center all your energy into a very small, about a 1.5 inch diameter circle. Okay. If you put your body behind it, you've got a tremendous amount of power. Much better than a fist. Okay. So elbow strikes would either be, well, we're going to come in, just step in, and we're going to have you practice this. Just come in and hit through like there's nothing there. Which really there isn't, because if he had any grades, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing anyway. Okay. So you have to assume there's, like we say in Jiu-Jitsu, whenever you're doing a technique, you have to go through the target. Okay. And so if you want to put your body behind it, strike. Okay. If for some reason you get to the temple, I wouldn't go for the temple unless it's a small target. Okay. If they're holding you from behind, elbow in. If he has to be slung over his shoulders, he's walking away. Most men really like it when women hit them with their fists because it really feels good. It does.
What's the caveman deal?
It's like a caveman deal. But they start whacking away with their elbows. That hurts. Okay? Particularly if you get about right here or right here. That's the base of the trapezius. And if you can get down to here or here, or even if they're bent over and you can come down with an elbow there, okay, you can create, and you do it with all your effort, they're not going to move their arm for a couple days because this muscle is bruised. Okay, so the elbow is very good. Okay, Kneecap strike. Guy's holding you in. Oh, he's holding your front bear hug. Really stupid attack. No, you front bear hug to me. Okay. Just come in and bless him. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter. I mean, again, you guys know this. It doesn't matter where you nail him. Anything from the belly button on down is going to cause a lot of pain and discomfort. Okay. It's not an issue whether you get him in the crotch or not the crotch. It's going to hurt the female about as much as it hurts a man. Okay. You just want to haul in it and just knee in. And again, you get your body behind it, so much the better. I want to do some practice here in just a minute. We're just going to give you a football kick. If he's holding on to you, we'll probably have you try this. Again, trying to come in with a snap kick takes a lot of training. Self-defense or counter-assault training, you're not into the niceties of it. You want to come up with a good kick right in the crotch. Okay? It's going to be just as effective, if not more so. If you want to aim for his head, aim for his head. And if you get stopped in the way by his body, that's the way it goes. Okay. Shin scrape is particularly if you have hard leather shoes or hiking boots or something of that sort, where you can either come in, if it's a rear bear hug, you can either scrape down the shin or come in sideways and scrape down the shin. Okay. And notice I'm working my way down the body. Okay. The last one is a stomp. Okay. And again, the stomp, whether from behind or if he's stepping, and you can come in and just smash down on the instep. Okay. Instep, you go for it rather than the toes. You've got steel-tipped boots. You can do this all day, and he thinks you're eating beat to whatever he's trying to do. Okay. You go for the instep. Nothing protects the instep. You can break their foot this way. Okay. So what we're going to have you do now. Okay. We're going to start off at the top, and we're just going to start off with a single or double wrist grab. Now, when you start working people with this, and I have this problem continuously, even in my class. Okay, if you're an instructor, you have this problem too. People say wrist grab, and you stand there, and they grab your wrist. Okay, then you're supposed to do it. In a street situation, what are they going to do that's different?
Pull.
They're going to pull. So you've got to work with this pull. And the worst thing you can do, pull, the worst thing you can do is try and pull the other way. Why doesn't it work? Because he is
Resisting.
he's stronger. Okay, so he's going to win this argument. Okay, so what we're going to have you do, he's going to, and I just assume have people start out with a pull. He's going to pull, all I want you to turn the hand. You're going to step towards him and turn the hand. Okay. And you can turn the hand, pull it. You can turn the hand in or out. Doesn't matter. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Just turn the hand. Don't try. People will try to lift. This doesn't work. You turn the hand. Okay? Either way. You either hand. I don't care. Do both hands. But I want you to practice, but I want this person to be pulling. And the key to doing this is to step in and go with them. Okay? You're cooperating. You're helping them, as we say in Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, so I want everybody to get up, get someone who's got 2 legs and 2 arms. What do you do? Lumbar Leo. And we on the street, do not bow. This is not cool on the street. Okay? He's going to grab. Okay, and what again he's going to pull. We want you to come out, and this time you're going to come in with a strike to the side of the neck. Yes. Turn around. Okay, do it the other way.
Other side, I need you to
I'm going
replace.
to do it the other side. Again, you're going to pull out. Excuse me. We're going to pull out here, and then we're going across and strike. Okay? So you're going to be a little more aggressive because he theoretically still has hold of one hand. You weren't able to get two hands up. Okay. Odds are in a street situation, you will not remember what you did. Okay? And that is perfectly fine. Okay? In fact, that's probably the best thing to say if you have to deal with law enforcement. Okay? And then you can go sit down later on and collect your thoughts and write down what you did. You follow the same process as like if you were in a traffic accident. Yeah, you had the accident. If it's a biggie, the officers want to fill out all the forms so they get the paperwork done because police people, and I understand it as a teacher, if we've had to deal with certain situations, you get paperwork up the kazoo, and we hate it. It's a real time taker. But you have to follow the same approach. You were in an accident, I'm confused, I can't think now, I don't know what happened, I'll get back to you. California, I think what you got, 2 to 4 weeks to file a report. Okay. You sit down, you compose yourself, you write down what you believe what happened. Okay? Then you fill out the form. In terms of being attacked physically, you don't go to the police department and say, well, here's what I did. You write it down, you have it set in your mind what you did, and then you go and talk to them. But you don't give them a written piece of paper because that can be used against you in a court of law. Okay? But it's a matter of being able to, because you probably do not know what you did. Yes?
And don't give them technical explanations about
Yes.
I did
Oh,
it,
God. Yes. Don't come in and say, Brett, I did a double wrist release and an elbow strike, known as a Heiji Tataki in Jiu-Jitsu on him. Okay? Because what happens is his attorney can say, oh, he's a martial artist. He knew what he was going to do. That is
Premeditation.
premeditation.
Looking for a fight.
And guess where I get to go? I get to share a cell with Leo. Okay? That's why. Okay? And it's unfortunate the laws in this country are that way, but that's the way it is. Okay? So, I'm going to give you a break for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back. I think you're doing applied theory on
applied theory.
applied theory. Okay, for our second segment,
Sorry.
we have Tony Damigo, who's going to be working with applied theory. This is something I forgot to mention before the first session. You're welcome to take pictures. You're welcome to shoot video. The only reservation is please do not get in front of the camera when you're doing any of this stuff. Because in looking back at some of the videos I've done in previous years, I've seen some people that they would just walk in front of the camera with their camera and take pictures and stuff like that, and it's kind of, yeah, it's obvious. Okay, so just use some common courtesy. Okay, Tony, it's all yours.
Thank you, sir. Okay, before we get started, I apologize. I'm a little bit tired. Long night, long drive out. How's everyone's day?
Great.
Good. All right, please have a seat. I'm going to give you some handouts on applied theory. I've subtitled it Jiu-Jitsu's Conceptual Convergence. That's because there's so many different theories that as a Jiu-Jitsu or as a martial artist that we may end up using within the realm of techniques that we're working on. The objective is to provide a basic framework for understanding several of the theories used in Jiu-Jitsu and to relate the basic framework to the interrelationships between those theories. So let me grab some of these and I'll hand them out. Okay, I'm going to actually do this backwards just so that I don't cover some of the more regular theories and principles. And I'm not going to go over each and every one of these. I'm only going to go over, touch on 3 or 4 within this seminar. But optimization principle is one of the things that I like to use. Basically, we're talking about breath control, have to breathe, and if you allow yourself to get upset while you're in the middle of a confrontation, you're going to have problems. You have to be able to be aware of the current situation. You want to use verbal commands, which we discussed towards the end of the last seminar with Professor Kirby. You also want to ki. And I know that a lot of people don't like using ki. You know, it's, why should I have to yell? Because it draws attention, gives you power, helps you control your breath. So many different aspects of using that ki is very important. And if you sound like a mouse, look like a mouse, they're going to treat you like a mouse. All right. Completeness of techniques. We want to be able to do a full and complete technique as many times as possible. Angle of deviation, projection. Of course, this one everyone knows, where the head goes, the body follows. Let's see, try a couple other different oddballs. State of engagement, principles of motion, pain compliance. And it goes on and on and on. I've got a list of basically 40 principles and theories here. In an explanation, theories are the body's rules, ideas, and principles that apply to a particular subject. In this case, or in our case, we are examining the use of theory within the execution of jiu-jitsu techniques. Keep in mind that principles are something that has been proven by trial to be true, while theory may seem to be true until you try it. Theories do not always work. Successful application of theory may depend on many factors, including the individuals involved in the circumstance at the time of the execution. You just don't know. But the more you know about the various theories, the more ammunition you have. They say knowledge is power. So what you can gain throughout your experience, through your trials and tribulations as a martial artist, you want to put that in your little goodie bag so that you can use it at another time. Okay. Introduction here. I'm going to go through this quickly. To the untrained eye, applications of leverage, torque, unbalance, and joint manipulation, nerve attack, and the use of pressure points become virtually unnoticed within the flow of movement. Only the resulting control and outcome become evident. This is the trademark of a skilled jiu-jitsu in action. How does he do it? How does he make it look so effortlessly? First response is practice, practice, practice. The more we practice, the more we become thoroughly versed in the extensive assortment of techniques and variations used to manipulate an opponent and attack his body. Without a thorough understanding of the techniques and mechanics that make it work, self-defense simply becomes a battle of strength, willpower, and dumb luck. Therefore, achieving technical proficiency becomes a must for the serious student of any martial art. If you're just going at it halfway, it doesn't work. That's what we want to try to teach the students. You know, a black belt is a white belt that didn't quit. You've got to keep at it if you really want to be serious about the martial arts. And when you're working on your techniques, you've got to be serious about that as well. You know, don't just kind of get out there and, okay, well, doesn't work. Speaking of mechanics, there's another reason for jiu-jitsu's seemingly effortless ability to control the flow through defensive maneuvers. It is the experience gained over time in the use of such components as push-pull theory, circle theory, triangle theory, attack and momentum, and others. Again, I have a huge list that I pull from. Many such theories are incorporated throughout the techniques that we use. These help to provide us with a far greater understanding of when, where, and how to move in order to take greater advantage of a situation, and the best way to utilize the attacker's directed energy is key. directed energy. A lot of people think, well, they're talking about a linear attack. It doesn't have to be linear. It can be circular. They can be using circle theory just like we are. And to assume that someone is not a martial artist who's attacking you would be wrong, because the world's full of would-be MMA practitioners. Okay. Through this short seminar, I will attempt to shed some light on the applications of some of these theories and expose some of their interrelationships. Now, on the second page, I have some very, very, very simplistic breakdowns of some of the theories. Circle theory. Use circular movements to deflect and redirect or harmonize with the destructive momentum of an opponent's attack. This allows the attacker's force to be added to your own. Okay? If you're backing something up, you've got more weight in a Mack truck than another Mack truck, same identical vehicle, but it has no, load, no payload. And you hit each other, the one with more payload is going to do more damage. If we can utilize our attacker's momentum, utilize their strength, and focus that against them or into whatever technique we're doing, we've doubled whatever power output we're going to have. Push-pull theory. Simply put, when you're pushed, you pull. When you're pulled, you push. We were doing a little bit of that on the last one. By moving the same direction as the initial attack, we can draw our opponent past his position of stability and break his balance. That's one option. Triangle theory. The act of influencing any part of the body to move from its current position within an imaginary triangle to a different position within the same triangle or that of another. And attacker momentum. Basically, this is using the attacker's directed energy, which we just talked about, redirecting it or blending with it to cause loss of balance, a state of instability, or anatomical misalignment. If the body is bent over, if you're off kilter, your foundation is in a much easier position to work with. You can take that person and drop them to the ground, throw them backwards, throw them forward, take them sideways, it doesn't matter. Training. Be considerate of your training partner. For safety's sake, all techniques should be done 1/4 speed, 1/4 strength. Respect your partner. Go slow and use minimum pressure and offer no resistance when you're on the receiving end of the technique, please. I won't go through the disposition of the attacker. Out on the street, it's a whole different ballgame. In class, we're in a clinical situation. Techniques are done somewhat sterile. We've gotten rid of our strength, our speed, our resistance, and the intent is not the same. I'm not really trying to take Peter and bash his head in. Hopefully he wouldn't want to do that to me. All right. Weapons. All of us have dealt with weapons. All of us are black belts, with the exception of the young man over here. What's your name again, sir? Liam. Liam. I should be able to remember that. That's my middle name. All right. Break that down. If someone's got a weapon and you can get away, run. Don't try to get the weapon from them unless you absolutely have no other choice. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to go through some techniques. We're going to walk through this simply. We're going to start off with a corkscrew. So I'd like everyone to grab a partner if they would, please.
You want to show it first,
Okay.
Tony, and then
Oh,
I'll turn off
okay.
the
Yes, I'll go ahead and do that then. Byron, may I borrow you, sir? Okay. We're going to go through typical corkscrew. Some of you have done this before, some may not. And we start out with an overhead strike. As he strikes, I want to step in, I want to do a jiu-jitsu cross block. Now that's a hard, linear block. That's go. That's using strength and force versus the Ju, which is the soft yielding that we do in the gentle art. But I want everyone to walk through that a couple of times and feel what it's like when someone's really throwing a nice hard strike and a nice hard block, and then we'll move on. Go ahead once again, step into it. Don't wait until he's got all that momentum coming forward. After we do this, we're going to take this arm, we're going to bring it down, and this is turning it into more of a circular theory, where I'm going to bring the arm back, I'm going to torque the arm. Bring it up. This is torqued. Out on the street, I'm locking in tight. He's going to feel this, he's going to want to jump, or it's going to cause damage to the tissue of the muscle, possibly break the shoulder. Once again, block, bring it down, step through. I've inhaled, and on the throw, I exhale. Let's do this slowly. We'll break it down a little bit more with our partners. Thanks. I apologize. I'm going to break all these down. I'm going to take this same maneuver, and instead of doing this hard, solid block, I'm going to redirect it very gently. Doesn't take much. Okay, harder. It'll flow right on through. I don't have to work on this. It's not about me having strength. Once again. It's just that simple. Okay, let's walk through to that point with your partner. All right, relax. Now, if I can have everyone take a knee for just a moment, that'll be fine. This part of it, I've blocked, I've brought this down, I'm torquing, I'm stepping through. I'm going to let this slide. I don't want to crank onto him. I want to be safe for him. So I'm going to let this slide. I know that out on the street, if I held on to him nice and tight, he's going to go. I want to take him to this point and just let him go ahead and go through a fall if he wishes to. If not, go ahead. And that's fine. Thank you. Let's go ahead and give it a try, please.
I lost it.
Don't throw them on me. See, at that point, I'm done. I'm going to show you that yoga thing too, though. Do you do a full ball? Aerial fall?
There you go.
What is that?
Yeah, and I'll stop here. I'm not going to take it down. You rotate. Look at this. There. Oh, finish up. All right, you may have a seat. Okay, basically, as you continue, you've locked up the arm. You've worked with. Oops, I'm looking wrong here. Okay, you've done your soft block. You've brought the arm down. Now this is where you end up touching on another aspect. Believe it or not, push-pull does not have to be blatant. It can be very subtle. Iron in front of you. Okay, this strike is coming in. No, go ahead, I'm not good at block. This strike is coming in. Okay, is he pushing forward? Okay, so as he comes in, am I pulling? So I've got a simple application, very simple application of push-pull within the circular theory. Okay? All right, I want to take this same technique, we're going to go into an option. Instead of the 360-degree return going all the way through and back, we're going to go to 180 degree. We're going to step backwards after pivoting under the arm. We're going to pull the arm backwards towards the ground to a point several feet behind the attacker. This is triangle here. Oh, here we go. Here's a good example. Triangle. Here's one foot. Here's the other foot. This is the area 2 feet behind. This is the area 2 feet in front. Sir? All right. So, fire and strikes. Boom. I've got my block. I'm stepping through. And instead of going forward, I'm going to pull back towards that position on the ground. That triangular area. Now, here's a nice submission after this. Because of the position I've dropped to the hand. Byron, can you spin around a little, sir? See the triangle? Okay. I'm going to place it on the ground, and I'm going to invert it. He wants to roll. If that's a quick snap, he's hurting. Go back up, sir. All right, so once again, block. Step through, drag backwards. And I've got him here. Don't.
Can you
Everyone back up.
Can you do one more time all the way through to the submission?
One more time all the way through the submission, okay? Let's see. Let's do it at a slight angle.
You're fine. I just need it once all the way through.
Hi. Yeah. All right. You ready to move on? All right. Go ahead and have a seat, please. Okay. Next technique I'm going to go through is going to help you with the last technique. We're going to reverse that corkscrew. So I'm going to start with the downward hammer strike back to that linear go position. Fire. Only this time, he's still the attacker, but I'm retaliating. And maybe he's got a little bag of tricks of his own. So he is moving into the corkscrew. And he's going to do that to me. As he gets this position, here we go. We're torquing. We're applying that pressure. We're getting ourselves ready. And here's where I have to make my move. I cannot wait until he gets me locked. I have to do it while he's on that downswing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over, I'm going to grab his hand. I'm going to apply circular theory, and I'm going to step around his body. As I step around, I'm going for the elbow. Now, he rolled out, which is fine. If he doesn't roll out, I'm going to have this elbow in a locked position for an elbow takedown. And once again, I'm stepping around circular, which applies circuit theory, attacker momentum. We're developing more momentum as we go along. I'm also getting a little bit of that linear motion going downward against the elbow, locking the joint. Okay? So, once again, I strike, boom, he's moving through, I have to move. I don't want to allow him to lock me. Now we're kind of in an even position, but my hand's on top. At this point, I'm drawing it down, and I can maneuver his body around. If I need to, I can add a knee to the ribs. I can add a strike. I can add a strike here. I can do a back fist, whatever I need to do. But this is so readily available. Oh, how about another application of push and pull? Yes! All right. Let's go ahead and pair up with our partners. Walk through it slowly. That is one of the options. That's the reverse for the corkscrew. One of my favorite techniques is interior winding hand throw. We're going to work on this. This is basically the opposite movement of the corkscrew that we normally do. Instead of going to the outside of the body, we're coming to the inside across the body. So, let's see, I'm doing this one with an attempted punch or lapel grab. Peter, may I borrow you, sir? Thank you, sir. Okay, so he's coming in. I want to do a simple block. Again, if I'm doing this hard, boom, I'm setting him up for something that he can do. I don't want to do a hard block. If Peter does a hard block, he's going to send me the direction that it's going to be advantageous for me. I want to do a soft block. He strikes, boom. I want to bring this down right here. And look at that thumb. That thumb is saying grab me. That's what I want. So, once again, hard block. I want you to feel this. I want you to work with your partner. Do a couple of hard blocks, and look at how easy it is to just spin. Go ahead and spin. Professor Kirby's elbow. Devastating. Don't. Go ahead and pick someone. We'll work on it to that point. Okay. So now we're going back into the circular theory. So we're going from something that would be initiated as linear with a harder block.
Let's back up a little bit.
Sorry. With a harder block, he can do something. With a softer block, I'm just redirecting it down to this point. From here, I'm going to step across the body and again go underneath. I want to keep the arm out. Don't let it fold, because it changes the whole position. I see people do this on a regular basis, and now I'm in trouble. All he's got to do is lift this up, and he's got me. So once I get here, I have to bring this across, and now, again, let's draw this imaginary triangle with my foot at the head. I'm taking that hand and I'm pulling it towards the head. Down it goes. Okay, so again, I've got my block, bringing it down. I'm grabbing the thumb side, the meaty portion of the hand. I want to continue through. I can do this single-handed or I can back it up with the other hand. As I step through, I'm keeping this hand somewhat at bay until I get underneath. Then I'm in trouble. That's why I want to keep this arm out. Because now he can resist it, but I've got that spiral torque going against the wrist. Now for a simple submission, knife hand, back of the hand, continue to turn. And once again, we've got circles. We've got torque being applied to the wrist. And if we want to be technical about it, I've got a little triangle there. Let's give it a shot. I have a habit of making sure everyone sits down because I generally sit down a lot myself. Okay, so we're going to go to an option. Instead of spinning under the arm, the arm grab, I'm going to grab his. Oh, I see what I did. I got a typo. Please forgive the typos. Okay. I want to get a hold of his arm at or above the elbow with my left hand. Okay? And instead of spinning underneath, once again, I'm going to angle towards the triangle in the front of the body. Peter? All right, so he's got the strike. I bring this down. I want to get in this position. And once again, look at where his feet are. So the head of the triangle is going to be out here. And this is where I want to draw this. So I want to come up to the elbow or behind the arm. And as I do, I'm going to step that direction and down. Very easy to get him down at that point. Once he's here, kidneys are available. Back of the head is available. Tailbone, somewhat available, but I don't necessarily like going there.
Can I get you to back up
Yes, sir.
about 2 feet that way?
Okay, so once again, he strikes, boom, down. Now this time I managed to hold on to him. I can drop the knee to the back of the arm. Here again, we've got the possibility of a little push and pull going on. I can, oh gee whiz, there's just a dozen different things. Let's just do it the simple way and sit down and relax.
You said you like to sit down.
I do. Now, Professor Kirby does one where you actually put the leg underneath the arm to trap it and sit down on it, and that works really well also. All right, so, sir, go ahead and grab someone. We'll do that a few times. Most of us are very familiar with doing a Tenagi-based hand throw. So this same position can be applied as he gives that same grab or strike, and I'm pulling this down to this position. Instead of grabbing the meat, I'm going to come under and still drag towards the front. Okay? So instead of doing a full-blown hand throw, I'm locking up all three joints. Ikajo, Nikajo, Sankajo. And I'm applying torque with that lock. Sir. If you want to try that, go ahead and do it a couple times. Denny, can I borrow you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Come on. All right, Denny, as he was working through this hand position, he was folding, and this is good, this is okay. He actually got the fingers bent just a little bit, which made me think of, if you curl that fist, you've already got the tendons and ligaments stretched to their max. And you do this 3 or 4 times, I guarantee your partner's going to be very sore. Right? Sure. Okay. Curl it prone and push down. Press. Sir, how much time do we have? Noon. Okay, we got plenty. Oh, gobs of time. All right, so I want to do a strike and a rear takedown. Similar type of a technique. We're going to do this a little differently. And, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, we're going to start off with a double wrist grab. So she's got both of my wrists, and we're going to assume that the attacker is very controlling, very domineering. They want to know what's going on, and I'm going to push my hands apart. Well, what's their first move? They want to draw it back together again. So I'm setting up the push-pull. So I push away as she pulls back. I want to bring this right into position. And once again, I've got that meaty portion of the hand. We're going to do this a couple of times. Out, back, capture. Out, back, and capture. Out. Oh, see, now she's playing. Okay, so let's do this a few times with our partner, please. All right. Ma'am,
Yes.
back up, please. Okay, let's see. Okay, so as she pulls back in, because I'm resisting this, boom, I'm helping her to develop the momentum that I want. Once I get to this position and I capture the hand, here's torque, here's spiral position on the wrist. You have 4 actions on the wrist. You've got hyperflexation, hyperextension, lateral movement, and spiral movement. And all of those have various different applications. I love spiral because you can see the minute her shoulder dips, I've affected child joint, and parent joint. So from this position, I'm going to grab, and this left hand is going to shoot in. And here's a shuto or a forearm strike to the neck. As I do this, I'm going to circle backwards for the takedown. Now, I can strike, I can kick, I can stomp. Once again, I've got the position on the wrist. Now, as this flexes downward, I would prefer to move continuing in the circle. But if I really want to lock this up, I've got to keep this from bending.
That was good.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, well, one more time, please. So, out, back, turn this down, start that spiral motion. Notice I'm not in towards her. I'm not in towards her. I'm keeping it low towards my safety tandem, towards the hara, the center of your balance point. I'm coming up, striking this, continuing around. Once I've got her down again, stomp, kick, drop an axe, elbow, and continue the torque. Go ahead and pick someone else.
Yes, thank you.
We've got about 20-ish minutes left. Go ahead and have a seat. Let's see if we can't throw a couple of other things into the mix. Byron, may I borrow you, sir? Okay, let's utilize the elbow. So Byron throws a strike. I've got a block. I want to pull this elbow inward. Now, from this position, all I have to do is continue down. Again, pointing towards the ground, and he's going to go down. If I'm pulling that elbow in tighter, which is what you were working on just a second ago, that's fine. But what I might want to do is add another one of the principles, which is using gravity. I guess Kimball calls it marriage of gravity, where I want to drop my body. So I'm also putting in backup mass to help bring this down. So, once again, block, pull this in, and I can bend. Just drop down a little bit. Let's do that a couple of times. Thank you, sir. Peter's got this strike coming in. I've got this block. I've pulled the elbow in. Notice that I'm pulling it right into my body. I'm fusing it to my body. I'm actually anchoring it. That's another principle, anchor principle. So once I've got this anchored, all I have to do is drop my weight just a little bit. That feel a little different?
Yes, sir.
So give it a shot.
All right, try that.
Remember what we did starting off with corkscrew.
Okay.
Okay? And we ended up doing the corkscrew, then we ended up doing a backwards pull. Yummy!
Yummy!
My bad. Thank you. Okay. So I want to go ahead and take this to a little bit of a different position. Let's go ahead, just slight angle here. Come on in. Okay, so the corkscrew, we went for the standard corkscrew, here, back, and throw. We went for an option doing a pull backwards. Now, I'm going to utilize the same positioning, but I'm going to go to the side. And you're going to say, wait a minute, it's not going to work going to the side because his base is stable both directions. Okay? What is going to make this work is anatomical misalignment. I'm going to weaken his stance by bending his body. So, he strikes, boom. I'm moving through, I'm coming out this direction, and as I do, I've got that little torque. See how he bent his body over? And now, I've got my thumbs, just like I would normally do a wrist lock. Like I would normally do a wrist lock, only instead of this position, I'm over the top. And I'm pushing down with my thumbs towards my feet. So once again, sir. Here, to here, and down. Off to the side. It works because we're getting the torque on the body and bending it off. It's a stable base. Give that one a shot. Before you go any further, All of you have had some experience with this. Some of you have been in tournament and you know, anytime you have that arm in this position and you're tempted to bring this up like this, don't drop them on their back like that. Bring the arm out, which is what we're doing right now. Just to make sure. Don't drop them here because you're going to tear something. Right? All right, let's go ahead and move to the side of the mat. Is everybody all right taking a little bit longer lunch? A couple extra minutes?
We just end lunch a little sooner.
Yeah.
Get out.
That works for everyone else?
Yes.
All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Gee, I wonder where I got that from. All right. Thank you all very much. Tachiwaza! Kyotsuke! Great. Thank you.
This is an easy day for me. Okay. Which was that? Kyotsuke? Okay, Jakuseki, have a seat for a moment. Okay, this afternoon you're going to do penance. Also going to do
As you started in the
tenants, not peasants. Penance. We have Matt Gelaude, who's going to be teaching pen Koshinobo techniques. Koshinobo is basically means hit with a stick. So the center section of a stick, like if your husband is playing with a jo, the center of it will be known as Koshinobo.
Okay.
Center portion, and so there are a lot of variants on that theme. And there are a lot of approaches just to help think on, and I don't know what direction Matthew is coming from. Usually Budoshin Jujitsu, because my sense of it is the same way. All weapon techniques are based upon empty hand techniques, and once you make that connection, you can pick up almost anything and use it as a defensive tool, as some people would prefer to call it, as a weapon. So in any case, there are different ways to approach weapons, and I'm not sure which way Matthew's going to be approaching it, but I'm sure he's going to do a good job. So with that in mind, I'm just going to exit stage left. And
My name is Matthew Gelaude. I'm doing a seminar on defensive pen techniques. Mostly what I'm basing it off of isn't so much the idea of using, okay, I'm going to pick up a random pen from somebody, although you can use that as a defensive weapon. I'm mostly going to use this and aiming it at more like the, I hate the word tactical pen, but that's what they tend to refer to them as. The problem with the idea of the tactical pen is, like, if you look something like this, okay, it's really pointy, and it looks really freaky, and has knurling all over the place, so if you happen to walk out somewhere and somebody says, okay, you know, oh, that's a nice pen, let me see it. Oh, it's made by Smith & Wesson, I wonder what that's for, you know. Pretty much the reason I'm doing this is I've made this, tailored this seminar mostly towards people who might not be black belts or expert martial artists, but maybe somebody who's, you know, possibly going to need to have some basic self-defense, okay? But like for somebody like, you know, younger people or women that might not have the size ability to fend off, you know, a lot of attackers, if they have, you know, little helping tools, the pen, they have a better chance of, you know, success. So, pretty much we're going to go ahead and start this out. I got these little trainers for everybody. I got a little, like a little handout I got for everybody that shows like some of the basic throws. How I'm actually going to work this is the first half is going to be basic striking techniques, some control techniques, but not a lot of real complicated stuff because we're basing this on, okay, I'm not expecting to get attacked, which nobody hardly ever is. You know, if you get surprised, how are you going to defend yourself? If people don't know what they're doing, haven't been doing it for like, you know, several years or aren't proficient at it, you're not going to be able to get somebody to execute a winding finger throw with, you know, some complicated technique. The most likely successful technique for them would be do simple strikes, okay? So, pretty much the reason I chose the pen over some things, even Kubutan, I based them a lot off Kubutan techniques, but you can use a pen anywhere. You find a pen, you know, you happen to borrow from the bank or the grocery store, okay, you sign the check, you walk out, oh, I still have a pen. You can use that if you have to. The problem is that they're real small and real fragile, like some of the cheap ones, they might break on you. So striking, good. Grabs, not so good. You can take this anywhere. You can go through, this is going to sound bad, but that's too. If you were to go to like some, government office, something like that, and they have metal detectors, if you happen to have a nice pen, they're not going to take it away from you. It's not a weapon, it's a pen. Okay?
How about getting on an airplane?
Yeah, could you get in there?
Yes.
From somebody
You can, yeah, from somebody who actually, I do work for the TSA, so let's just throw that. You're going to censor that last part because NSA is probably watching. If you have something like this, some people make, Uzi, for example, makes a tactical pen. It's really sharp, it's got real holes all over the place, and ragged, and blood collectors or DNA samplers. If you pick that up or a cop picks it up, it looks like a weapon. Okay? If you have something like this is a real, legitimate Sharpie made out of stainless steel. Okay? No problem. That sounds fine. Now, the other example. Okay? This is a tactical pen. It's pink, it's got little hearts on it, it looks really pretty. I'm not going to take this away from somebody because it's a weapon, it's a pen. If you happen to be a person who, doesn't or is not able to go to certain places, aircraft, other countries, and have weapons on you or defensive tools on you, a pen's a good secondary option because using your bare hands, there's nothing wrong with it, but sometimes it helps to have a little edge. Anyway, so it's an improvised tool. Some of them, they make some that are actual little clicky type pens. Those are fine. The only thing you have to worry about is there is a slight potential to escalate a situation, depending on how you use it. If you're using a pen like this, it's not going to puncture skin or cut anybody. If you're using this to do basic strikes, for example, to the face, they're going to get hit really hard. It's mostly a force multiplier. If you have a little tiny pen that has a little sharp edge and you stab somebody in the face, it might not necessarily have the effect that you wanted. If you have like the pretty boy who just walked down the street and wanted to score a couple bucks, and you stab him in the face and now he's got a hole, he's probably not going to just say, okay, I'm going to leave you alone. He's probably going to decide, okay, now we're getting into it. So basic, how we're starting out with this is, like I said, it's going to be easy to use, easy to teach. So we're going to start with some basic striking techniques, and I've cut that down to mostly 3 different ideas. Okay, so I'm going to borrow an Okay. Nobody saw that coming, right? Okay, so you've got your pen. I'm going to get to the little one. So, first one we're going to start with is, I don't like to do drills because if you start an actual drill, you start to get into the habit of reaction without thought. And in a lot of ways, especially for striking, that's fine. But you might, unless you keep it in context, you might start veering off to the direction you want to go. So, go ahead and grab your pen.
Oh, I didn't mind that. Okay.
Yeah, we're actually going to try to beat each other this time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, the basic, how we're going to start, stance-wise. We're not going to do anything fancy, we're just, here, basic tachiwaza. So, deployment methods, grips. I stick with 2 for the most part. One is I just like to call it the ice pick grip. You're grabbing it, you're putting your thumb on the top, capping the pen. That causes, if you happen to hit somebody or you want to hit somebody, you hit them, it won't just slide out. If you grab it like this, it's real small. Even if I try to hold on it as hard as possible, it's going through. With the thumb, it's not going to. The other one I do sometimes is the jute grip. And this is mostly just for grabs and not for striking per se. So, how we're going to start with the ice pick grip. So, how our drill's going to work is I'm going to start, Byron and I are here. I'm going to take my first shot, I'm going to have him come overhead. I'm going to take my left hand, he's going to come overhead, I'm just going to pass a little bit. Now, as soon as this hand's past it, this hand's coming in. Hit, he's passed. Now he comes back. Pass, pass. And we're just going to keep doing this. Don't do these huge motions that way because you're not going to attack somebody that way on the street. You're going to go relatively straight towards the face. So we're just working out this. And we're going to play with this, everybody, for a couple of minutes just to get the idea. Okay, stop. This person punches at me immediately. Not because if you, just reality, if he thinks he's got the, he's got the advantage, and I can immediately, like that, make him all of a sudden have a reaction he didn't expect, get hit in the face with a pen. it can cause him to not either continue or still in surprise is what I'm going for. So go ahead and just pick a partner. And I know this is really basic, we're going to start out slow. Oh, the other point. Most of these techniques, if you're doing the strikes, you can try it left-handed. I prefer, either the ice pick or the jute grip is, okay, imagine you're wearing like a t-shirt, normal, everyday wear. Okay, you got the pen here. The way I prefer to draw, if you want to call it that, it's a pen, you're drawing with it, awesome. Take, your fingers, you're just going to index, okay, the base of the the sharp end of the pen, just to pop the top up. You're catching it between your forefinger and your thumb. You're pulling up. Look at that. It's already in the grip. Okay. If you have like pockets and you want to wear the pen, if you wear it towards the back, you'll get kind of more of this stabby feel. If you wear it at the front of the pocket, what you usually get is you can come down just straight, put your thumb in your pocket, open the pocket up. Once again, you're just hooking it and pulling out. You're still in the same position, or you're in the jute position. So. Next technique we're going to work on is where is it?
No, I was saying like a sword.
Okay.
The back is Kevin.
I'll borrow. Okay, so we have our opponent. We've just done the basic striking. All the striking areas you want to aim for is pretty much the usual, okay? Face is fine. Don't necessarily aim towards the eyes because you could kill somebody with it. If you go past the eye into the orbital, okay? Side of the face, temples, side of the neck, collarbone, all of those are fine. The temples are more potentially deadly. Just be aware of that. So, to get a little bit more complex technique. So, we're starting this basic drill, okay? There you go, you're past it. Now, in a real life situation, I might not necessarily want to be doing this to somebody every day. So, how you can do this is I've got down to this point. So, Bude Makikomi, okay? Basic arm winding throw. So, I'm going to go ahead and start one time. Just do like a straight punch. Okay, so we're here. I've blocked out. I'm shooting underneath. I can take the pen, once again, the ice pick grip. I can hook around the neck. I like to hook around the shoulders. Shoot the left hand in. Okay, it's a pretty basic technique. Once you're at this point in a real life situation, I would say you can keep hammering. Okay, the only reason we're doing this motion is just get used to that energy. Okay, when adrenaline's flowing, that's going to be one of the more likely. You won't remember. Okay, weird stuff. Just going straight down like that. Go caveman. Okay, that's fine. Anywhere here, these are all fine shots. You can knee to the head. You can take your back leg. Kick to their knee, okay, potentially take their knee out or at the very least drop that. So, all we're going to do for this one is your opponent, he's going to punch at you, you're going to block here. You might have hit him, or you might be coming around instead and just do Bude Makikomi, okay? If you want to use your pen for a more complex submission, you can, once again, we're sticking with the ice pick grip. I come up, instead of hooking around my hand, hook. And now I'm not actually holding it, the pen's holding it, okay? Try one more time from this side. So, he's here. Hooked. In. Okay. Not real complex yet. Thank you. Go ahead and pair off. Try that a couple times. Oh, okay. So, that's a little bit more of an idea of gaining control over somebody, but still we're trying to stick with the idea of not necessarily experience, adrenaline's flowing, basic techniques. So, I'm going to borrow, somebody want to hit the face. Byron.
Poor guy.
Do I need my pen?
You
My
can
stylus?
go ahead and skip your stylus for this time. Okay, so, basic ideas. If he can't see what's going on, even if he had a plan, it's gone now, because he doesn't know what's happening. So, same idea, the same drill. He's going to punch, okay, I'm going to pass, I'd come back. Now, what I'm going to do here, instead of going for like Bude Makikomi, is I'm going to start striking. Now, the reason I have this, okay, right hand's involved, left hand's involved. And I don't want to take this hand and push it way out here out of the way because I'm going to do stuff with this. So he punches, I'm going to be here. I'll come up, hit him forehead, hit him in the collarbone, okay? Now, my left hand, instead of just pulling this back here, I can come up, push to the face. Now he's off balance, okay? I can take the right leg, kick the knee out, knee to the groin, or I can come up here, hit him a couple more times. If I hit him here, this hand's going to come back and move you down. And it's real self-defense. Most of your idea is You've been attacked, hit him, get him off you, get away, okay? If he's on the ground, I have time to run, okay? So, one more time from the other side. Person's gonna punch at you, you'll have your pen here, collarbone, okay? Left hand, push it up. I'm trying to get his face not just pushed back, but turned. So he's completely off balance now. Then I'll come back and I'll hit here. If I want, I can start doing traps, okay? Or I can just keep hammering here until he's down. Go ahead and try that a couple times. Go ahead and try another one of the same idea. We have that other going yet? I don't think so. Okay, you got one more drill to do. Okay. Go ahead and you got your hand. Yes, sir. Okay. So, I've tried to keep this relatively simple as far as idea striking. I'm not going to teach 5 or 6 different, angle 1, 2 through 8. I'm just doing like pretty much angle 1, and I guess this would be like angle, 7, depending if you're asking. So, before we were doing a vertical. Now we're going to do a horizontal. So, we're squared off. He's going to come in with me like this. Instead of passing to the left, what this is mostly going to be is a check. Okay? So this person's here. I'm going to check it straight down, bring the pen up, forward. Okay? I'm aiming for the chest area. In reality, you could aim for the throat or the face. Teeth would probably be pretty good. So, how our drill is going to work is we're here. He comes in. This holds straight, just like this. Okay. There. Now, I come down, push. This comes up. He checks. Now, he pushes his hand down. I catch. I check. Now, one catch with this is if you feel like, okay, we need to go faster, let's not bring this pen up and let's stab in the belly button. That's ineffective. Okay, so go ahead and try that just for a minute, just to get the idea down.
Have you ever been stabbed in the belly button?
Okay, I'm going to borrow. Okay, so we've got our attacker. He's going to punch straight in towards us. It's not so much going to be a round haymaker kind of thing, it's just going to be straight in. So he punches, we're down, okay? We've got this. Remember the Udemaki Komi from the start? You can't do that. You can come here, hit Udemaki Komi. Or you punch one more time. I've got this hand down. I can hit. Now, come up and trap. I'm not necessarily trying to do like for an arm bar or a figure 4. I want to get him so his arm isn't going to go anywhere, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of time locking this sucker up. Okay? If you happen to wear like heavy jacket and you want to grab onto your pocket, that's fine. So he goes ahead and punches. Here, hit, come around. Once again, same idea. I can hit to the side of the head a couple times. All of this is gravy here. Okay? Warning about the ears. If you're doing this here, be very careful where you're aiming at because one of these little suckers in your ears will hurt. If you don't want to do it with the actual pen on you, I understand. Side of the neck, good target. This is a good target. I wouldn't aim anywhere low because you want to actually have some effect right now, not tomorrow when he wakes up. So, one more time. Punches. Over here. Come up, hit. I'm going to hook. Once again, I can come in here. I can elbow. Okay? I can get to this point, but I don't really want to in self-defense because now this is changed from self-defense to mutual combat a little bit. At this point, I can hit here with Sotogari. Okay, that's a good choice. Go ahead and try that a couple times. Just
Can I have it one more time on the other side?
Oh, other side, okay. So, he punches, we're down, hit. I'm just trapping, hitting, I can come back, I can go with my angle 1, I can go with my next one, or so. Thank you. Go ahead and try it a couple times.
I think you wanted your Byron.
Oh, me?
Byron, okay. So, most of the attacks we've been doing so far, okay, we've got angle 1, whatever this is, just straight like thrust. Most of these have been defensive, okay? He's taking the swing first and we've just kind of like, he's punching at me and I'm just trying to keep him from hitting me, okay? If you have somebody who has, do we have any clubs around here?
Yes, but they're only open till 2.
That's why.
Why do you ask?
Or a knife, that's fine too, not a real one, of course. Clubby. Okay, so like he's going to do the basic, hit me in the side of the head kind of thing. I'm going to be somewhat offensive. I'm still defending myself. He's taking the first swing, but he comes in. I'm here. Okay, I'm doing 2 things. One, I'm catching this and I'm just trapping it a little bit. I'm not trying to lock him. I'm coming here and you can either punch him square in the shoulder with your fist. If your pen happens to catch him before your fist does, that's fine too, it doesn't really matter. I'm doing this to get him off balance, okay? There's still a little surprise when he thought there was just gonna be a hand there, and now there's a stab a little bit. He's off balance, I think I mentioned that already. So, one more time, so he swings, I hit. Now, I had somebody else tell me in the previous time I did this that, okay, well, if I'm in this position right here, okay, Byron can meet me in the crotch. And he can right now, it'd be fine. But, if he's like this, he's not touching anything. So, we've got to this point, we hit. You can hit, come back, hit a couple times, stab, okay? Or, we can go back to the same idea, okay? I'm not trying to make anything, every technique, completely different than the last one, because you'll remember a certain set. If I teach you 50 things, you might be lucky to remember 4 or 5 of them. If you're trying to teach somebody, you're wrong now. If you're trying to teach somebody, for basic self-defense, it won't necessarily help you too much to throw 50 techniques and hope 1 or 2 of them stick. If you throw 5 or 6 techniques at them, most of them will stick. So, we'll borrow Byron one last time from the other side for the audience. So, he swings, I'm bursting in, hitting on the arm, collarbone, head. I can come back up here and block, throws, a sotogari, knees, hits. Come down here. If you want a submission, it's relatively easy to do. You can get here. I've got his arm. I don't even have a really good arm lock in, but I've got him enough that I can keep him from going anywhere. I've still got this little pen. I can write my name on him. A nice one is you've got like an ice pick grip. Just reinforce your thumb, and this whole area right behind the jaw is all real nice. Okay, under the jaw, behind the jaw, eyes, the ribs here, those sting. Okay, go ahead and give it a shot. Be somewhat gentle on punching the shoulder, because if you try it relatively hard, a bunch of times your shoulder's going to be killing them. But do it enough to get them off balance. The same idea like when you're doing a sotogari the right way, you should off balance them is what you're aiming for. I'm going to borrow Byron. Okay, you got it. Very good. I'm going to use empty hands in this one. Where I'm getting the idea for this, okay, striking the shoulder isn't anything new. A lot of the what would you call it, the Philippines? Not necessarily Eastern Asia, but, the Philippines, Thailand, that area, they have a lot of, techniques that stem from this idea, okay? If somebody comes at me, for example, like a scream, okay? If somebody comes at me with a club, just like say you're going to swing a club at me, okay? I have something. I'm going to actually block this way, okay? I'm using 2 blocks on the same thing, but I'm not going to block the hard thing with the soft thing. Because if this gets screwed up on my block out here and he hits my hand, I'm screwed, okay? Especially since they often use knives in place of clubs. The other idea that I got this off of is Krav Maga. They have techniques that I've heard to refer to as bursting, okay? So I'm just going to have you punch at me this time. If Byron's getting ready to come at me, and I take all my energy and immediately, like that, but not hit him in the shoulder, but hit him in the face, he'll go back. Any idea he had, okay, here's my plan. I'm going to come at him, I'm going to punch him, I'm going to kick him a couple times, I'm going to steal his wallet. As soon as he's in the face, it's all gone, okay? So one more time, the other side. So, instead of me hitting him in the face, we're trying to be nice, I got my pen, I'm going to hit him in the shoulder. It still unbalances him, it's a little bit more gentle, okay? So he punches, I'm here, okay, he's off balance completely. Okay, go ahead and try that for another couple minutes, focusing on the idea, just like this applies to like a sotogari or hip throws. If you're going to do a throw on somebody, they don't have to, but should be off balance when you try to do it. Otherwise, they have all this possible list of techniques they can do to resist you. Okay? Okay. This is based more for smaller people, and since I've got a good choice to try this technique on, I need. Nobody has arms big. You got arms big enough. Okay. So,
yes.
I've got my pen. I'm going to use the subtle version this time. So. Basic ideas, okay, people, women, go in and unlock their car, okay, middle of the night parking lot. When you're at this point, you're extremely vulnerable. All your eyes are here getting this little thing, this little hole, and you're just hanging out there for everybody to catch. So, if I was doing this, okay, unlock the key, and he's the big guy who's going to overpower this little female, how's he probably going to attack me?
A grab.
Okay, he's got the grab. Good choice. Okay, so same idea, like they've been teaching women, okay, you use croutons in your keychain sometimes, carry your keys in your hand. If you happen to have your keys, this will still work. If you happen to have a pen, it works even better. If he's here and he's locked onto me, good targets, okay? Easy one. He's got his hands up here, all this nice bone. If I take this and stab real hard on the bone, I can either break the bone or stab him, he'll let go. Okay? If he lets go, I've hit him here, my immediate reaction is we're going to lesson 1 and 2. I'm coming back, I'm pushing him off balance, and I'm hitting. Okay? If we want a little...
Turn around.
Yeah,
Turn 90
turn just a
degrees.
little bit. No,
the other
no,
90.
toward me.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so he's got me. Oh, you're cheating now. But same thing, okay? Now, if he's doing something like this, leg, okay? I had somebody tell me, well, what happens if he falls over on top of me? Well, you're on the ground with him on top of you, and you still got a really sharp pen. And he's not really thinking, okay, now what do? He's thinking, I just got stabbed in the crotch. So we're here, I've stabbed back, you're still cheating. Okay. So we're here, I've come down, stabbed the groin, okay? I'm still reverting back to the same ideas, okay? You can try going left. If you're holding that way, you want to go, that is right. You want to go left, come back here, stab a couple times. Now we're down in more of a control situation. Which just works out good for those of us who already know this, but for somebody who doesn't know it, it might take a while to get to. So, one more time. He goes ahead and grabs. Oh, basic idea, you come up, stab into the fingers. See, I'm not even stabbing him, but he wants to let go. If you grab one more time. Okay? If you want to try, we're going to use the Jujitsu grip for a change. If I can come here and get any one of these little fingers here, I own him right now. Okay. Now, one more time. Or the other version. Oh, he's locked up really good. Okay. Ha! Real tight. Okay? Kneecap, groin, thigh, anywhere in there. It's all good. So, he's let off me. It's not going to take too much work just to spin out. Thank you. Go ahead and pick your partner. Try that about 4 times.
A lot of things you
And you can
Okay.
extend that knee, jump on it.
So, now we're getting into more, okay, that was for, you know, not necessarily last resort, but okay, adrenaline's flowing, you don't really have a good plan, you don't know what's happening, okay, striking is one of your better options, especially if you have something hard. Now we're getting into the more technical part. So, we're going to start working on throws with the pen. You're not necessarily going to, you know, wind this person up with this pen and throw them away. It's not going to work that way. Same as like you're doing your blocks. You're not going to block with a pen. It's more of an empty-handed block. Okay. So our first throw, which we've actually done, so we're only going to I'm only going to show it. I'll have you guys work on it. To borrow Tommy. Okay. So we have maybe a little bit different. We have it can either be an overhead, or a straight strike, or a knife thrust, but we're going to do like a punch to the stomach this time, okay? So we're here, I've blocked this down, forearm. Back to, you know, the first technique we did. I'm going to come up, catch. If I'm down to this point and I want to rake up on my way there.
Careful with the shoulder.
Bad shoulder? Oh, bad choice. Okay.
No, perfect.
Okay.
You've been defending
This is true. Okay, so I'm back to here, I'm pulling down. Okay, Ude Makikomi. I can do my submission I did earlier. I can stab, or like I said, you can take this, the back of the jaw, push, knee to the face. So, go ahead and literally just do that one time a piece, just so we're going at it.
The other side.
Oh, okay. So, block, come up, hit. To get to that point, or knee to the face, kick, or I can come over to the side, slow guard, which will not necessarily work that well since you're aiming the other direction. Okay, go ahead and try that just 1 or 2 times a piece.
Like
Finish your technique.
Little earlobe.
Yeah.
So, next we're going to do a kubinagi neck throw. I'm going to borrow iron. So, we can use either grips. Ice pick works great. You can use the Jujitsu grip for this one. You'll see why. So, basic neck throw. He's going to punch. Okay, left hand's going to block it outwards. I'm not going to necessarily want to step into him that much. I'm just keeping him from hitting me. Take right hand. If you want to do the ice pick grip and stab him in the side of the neck, get real violent with it, fine. Step in, you can stab, twist around. Now I'm not even touching him, but he's moving away from it, you know. Now we're here. I can drop a knee. I've still got his arm here. If I want to do a real simple break, I can just come out here and push. stab down, not anything complicated. Or, if I don't want to get this idea, okay, I'm going to stab this guy in the side of the neck and like, you know, take his temperature or something. Okay, now, we've got more of the Jute grip idea. Instead of being with the thumb on top, I'm just going to reinforce. So, he's going to punch. Same thing, we're blocking here. I'm going to take just, a lot of my thumb is actually going to be hitting him, but it's backed up by something nice and solid. And same thing, I'm going to dig into the rear, down.
Are you getting into his jaw?
Anywhere. If you want to hit, like, don't do this here. If you want to hit him behind the ear, it is not going to cause permanent damage, but it's going to do a lot of, you know, effect. All the side of the neck, that's fine. I wouldn't try the head necessarily. Once again, we're down here, stab in the armpit, punch to the face. Okay, I can come up here. We were working on finger throws. I can come here. This isn't really effective, but I kind of have his attention. Okay, we're going to try that from one more angle. We'll try this real quick. So, backing up with my thumb. He punches. Here, step, push. The nice part, go ahead and harden up. The nice part is that if you're doing the normal neck throw, if you start out before you understand a lot of the principles and concepts behind like Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, Judo, it can be kind of interesting to time it all out and understand that you don't want to, you know, have them out here like this, that you want to have them still going forward here, changing their direction. If you have a pen, it backs you up and it gives you a little more authority because you don't have to actually know necessarily all those little nuances. If you stab to the side of the neck with something really stiff, they're going to do what you want them to do. Okay? Go ahead and try it a couple times. Okay, so next throw. Okay, Teinagi. Not ultra easy. Easy, you know, green belt technique, pretty basic. You can do a lot of variations with it. Sensei Tony? Sir. Hi. Okay, I'm going to use, you've done with the plastic one, we can borrow it. There we go. Wow, they're coming from all sides. Okay, so, I don't like holding it this way. You can do it, I'm going to show it the first time this way, okay? It's more of a Koshinbo technique. And with the long stylus, that's nice. The catch is when you have a shorter, you know, more streamlined pen, is you don't have, I'm literally getting ready to lose this sucker right now. So, we're going to show it the first time just for basic, you know, say you had a pencil, okay? Like this. So, I'm going to have somebody who either punches that goes to it, not like a knife thrust, just to make things different. Okay, I'm going to step out of the way. Base, you know, same as you do with your regular hand throw, you can either step out of the way just a little bit, or you can get more of the kind of, you know, momentum started by stepping around a little further, get him into it. Now, come back, just across the palm of the hands, step in, pivot. Okay, basic submission. Okay, now, different. We've got the ice pick, same as what we were doing for the neck throw. Okay, he punches. I can come around, I didn't really grab it that time. Now, we've got him trapped. I can either take the actual writing portion, stick it in between the bones. Okay, if I hit this real hard, it's going to hurt him a lot, but he's going to pull away. Okay, if I just hold it or do a little bit of a jab, I like when I keep doing this, his face plate changes. Here, step in, do the same thing, and now when I get to this point, I can still use this to strike.
You get them going in one way.
Okay, other version. Reinforcing with the thumb tip. Same thing, he does a straight punch. Okay, we come around this way, I'm reinforcing. Push back.
Do that one, same thing again, just a little bit slower.
Okay, we'll go from this way. So, he punches. We're here, stepping around. Reinforcing, back. I'm not doing submissions for all these throws because once you can get, if you can get the throw down, you've got enough, you know, skill to figure out how to submit him with a sharp instrument. Now, one more time. So he punches. Now we've got, let's keep turning a little bit. We've got to this point, and now we're going to step back. No matter which way, we're going to cross the palm, we're doing the reinforced thumb tip, or we're doing the ice pick. You can either, just like a regular hand throw, you can either step in, throw him that way, or you can take this and push straight down like towards 45 towards his butt. Okay. It changes the way you want to do it. If you don't have a lot of space or you don't want to throw him over here and you want to just go straight down where you are, it's an option.
Don't let it go.
Okay, go for it. Pick partner. So, next technique. Kirby Shinuwaza, wrist lock. We're going to do this for a, double lapel grab. I'm going to borrow Byron this time.
The nasty little
Yes, the nasty double lapel grab. Okay. I'm going to, kind of put this in context a little bit. So, like if you just happen to have a regular t-shirt on, you're not like the polo shirt kind of person or the buttoned-up shirt type of person. You want to, hold on to the pen this way. Like if I wear like a polo shirt, I'll take it, and where you have the buttons, I'll just stick it in sideways. Okay, it's sitting like this. I draw it usually the same way. Push, catch, it's here. Okay, so for this situation, I don't have a polo shirt on, so I'm going to put this on to my regular shirt. Okay, if we're out somewhere and somebody attacks me, say like double lapel grab. Yeah, we did. Okay. Double lapel grab. Okay, so I could try, depending on how ignorant this person is. They're attacking you, so they're already ignorant or not in the right mind doing it too. I can't necessarily just go straight for the pen, because he's going to be, what the heck is grabbing that pen for? The pen that says Smith & Wesson on it, the pen that says Uzi on it. So, we're going to need to do some basic distraction. This isn't necessarily an attack you want to kill the person. This is more like some kind of attack you get from somebody who you know and are going to have to live with for the rest of your life. Okay? So, something like this, that's fine. If he's here, okay, catch to the ears, that's not bad. The nice part about that is I've got this, I've hit him in the ears, he's stunned. I've got my arms on top of his, so even though he doesn't know, I'm already lined up to grab my tool, okay? So I'm going to reach down here, grab it, which is easier said than done, you're all sweaty. So, Jujitsu grip. Jujitsu grip. However he attacks you, you're going to grab his left hand. Jujitsu grip, you're going to reach over, get him off balance a little bit, you're catching the pen right in the notch between the wrist and the hand. Pulling in, now stepping back. And that stings. I don't even have a lot of pressure on it. Okay? So you can get to this point, and then you can go to your basic wrist take technique. So, same thing. Okay. Do this for the camera. So. I can do a knee strike. I can come down here and do strikes. Or I'm going to do this one for, say, a lapel grab and kick. Okay, it doesn't matter which hand he hits or grabs with. I'm going to get this hand. So he does something weird. Okay, he's left-handed, so he's going to punch me. No, you're right-handed, so you're going to punch me with your right hand. Okay, so he punches. I blocked. Do some kind of distraction. Reach up, grab the pen. You're going to come over, grab the hand, peel it off. Okay. Now I've got this. Slightly turn a little bit. Slightly different wrist lock takedown, but it's more for like immediate control or pain, hoping that he'll just pull away and leave me alone. Once you have it with this little Z here, okay, you're going to keep this here. Now, you want to get this in front of him, and you're just going to push down his elbow, okay? Now, if I push down really hard, I could really screw up his wrist, so be careful with it. So, one more time. Double lapel grab. Okay, that's fine. So, hit. Come over to the top. Peel it off. Now, I can just pull this out, as long as I can get this like on a 45, or I guess it's a 90, I failed geometry, and push straight down, okay? Now we've got to this point, I can step back, get him to go down, okay? I've got a nice little control situation here. If I got him down to the point where he's squatted down, I can come in, knee, strike to the face. Thank you. Go ahead and try that a couple times a piece.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we've done several takedowns or like control holds. Now we're going to do something more along the ideas of a couple. So I'm going to borrow Denny this time. So we have a wrist grab. Okay, so we have the wrist grab. It's not anything that's like threatening in reality, but it's just teaching the concept. Okay, what I'm going to do is I don't want him to let go of me. I want him to hold on right here. Anyway. Left hand, I'm just going to come underneath. Even though as hard as he's trying to grip onto me. Okay. Now, I've got his hand facing up. All I'm going to do, take the pen. I'm going to use the flat end of this because this sucks. Here, I'm going to step back. Okay? All I'm trying to really step back for is I want him off balance, and I want him to bend his nice little arm here. I'm going to take this. Now I'm going to switch around to that end. Take this, just like when we're doing the standing arm lock submission, we're going to do the same thing. We're coming in here, and we're going to bend. Now, we're to this point, okay? I'm gonna take this hand, I'm still holding on to the wrist, same way I was when he was holding on to me. I'm gonna take this here, reach underneath the neck, pull up. I've got his wrist and I'm stabbing him in the collarbone. Okay, so if I want him to go somewhere, he's probably gonna go with me. Okay, try that one more time, the other side.
Can I get you guys to stand here
Okay,
and back a little bit?
There you go, right there.
so, reach up, grab, and dig. Okay, if you get to this point, he's still bent over at this point, and you want to get some kind of, grab on, you can take this, come up here, hook it into the collarbone, have him stand up if he doesn't want to, and then reach around. The reason I don't like to do this and keep on him is because you think, okay, he's not going to go anywhere, but if he twists to his right, he'll completely get out. Other way. There you go. Keep twisting. Step. There you go. And now we'll go back to where we started. Okay. So go ahead and pick your partners. You're going to come along.
Gentlemen,
Okay. The other point, and for you, it's actually going to be easier than it is for him. If you're doing a come along, it's the same idea. If you're doing something to somebody else, you want them to be off balance. So if I have Byron here, I'm just going to get the position. If I have Byron here, I reach around here. Okay, he's still off. He's still got all the balance. I'm sticking him in the shoulder, but he can still resist me. If I have him back like this, if he's off balance, now he's going to be more likely to go where I want him to go. Okay, go ahead and keep trying a couple times.
like a tiger.
Okay, I actually have several techniques for actual defenses of kicks. I'm not going to go into them right now. I'm going to give you guys a paper if you want to look at them, try them out. They're really easy. Just the basic way to think about it is we're doing all the throwing part of empty hand techniques. If the pen's not there, you can still do the technique, but the pen helps. Okay, so if somebody's going to do a kick to you, you're going to step around, for example, Ouchigari. Okay, step out, you're going to catch. Okay, I'm going to take the pen, jam it into the leg, and push back. Okay, if somebody kicks and does like a side kick, I'm going to come up, and I'm just going to jam in the leg and bend them over. Okay, so we're going to work on one that's a little bit more complicated. I'll borrow Byron.
Right.
I'm going to use the flat end for this because this sucks. Okay, so I just do it just a little bit. Okay, yeah, because you're going to move down. Okay, so one of the techniques we did, we were talking about like bursting. Okay, this person punches at me. Okay, I'm here, I'm getting him off balance. We're going to stick with that same idea. I just hit him here. You don't necessarily have to hit him up here. If you want to just drop him right now. Okay, so we're going to start slow. Think Sotogari. So he punches. We're in, I hit. Now, I'm going to take the pen. The pen's already up here, maybe stuck into the shoulder. Okay, I'm going to keep the pen on him the whole time. I'm going to angle the pen down, drag all the way down his body, all the way down the chest, all the way down the ribs, all the way down the thigh. Okay? Now, okay, let's just start.
Let me switch sides on this.
Switch sides? Okay.
Yeah.
So, he punches. He blocks. Okay, he's really nice off balance right now. I'm going down, dragging the whole way. Down. I'm going to take this. You can either stab into the calf. I personally don't do that. It's the same idea you're doing the arm lock, how you're using this to drag. I'm going to pull this arm down, just like that. And now we're at this point, I can punch, stab, okay, do some kind of arm lock. So, one more time. I'm going to keep the pen out of it this time because I don't want to scar Byron up for life. So, he punches. Hey! Hey! Okay? It works with nothing in your hand. If you have a pen, he has more incentive. Okay, do that. I'm running out of time. So do that about 3 or 4 times a piece, then we're going to come back. Thank you. Okay, something for Udeguruma Ushiro. We can either do this as a throw or a come along, just like the normal technique. I'm going to borrow bad shoulder. Bad shoulder. Your name is now bad shoulder, yes.
BS.
Okay, so we have our attacker. He's going to do like an overhead. Okay, comes in. We could do a cross block, come down and catch. Okay, but all we're really going to do at this point now, we're going to have to figure out something else we're going to do because I've got him trapped here. So what we're going to do is this hand's going to go away. The right hand, I'm going to come up. I'm going to kind of hook it in here, catch it, take it up, keep it here. Right hand, I'm going to go slip underneath him. Go ahead and turn. I'm here. Now, left hand's gonna come up, grab the collarbone or the shoulder. I'm gonna take the pen and angle it up, and I'm gonna pull his back into the pen. And he feels that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one more time.
Acupuncture.
Yes, exactly. So, wrong hand. So, block, catch, here, behind him. I'm moving around him a little bit to a point, but then after that point, I'm making him come to where I want. Okay? Now, another variation we'll do in the same set, so try both of them a couple times. He does an overhead, okay? Say, oh, I forgot the wrong hand. Well, we can't tell Mr. Bad Guy, okay, would you tack me again? I did this thing wrong. I learned this really cool technique. It will work. So, you blocked up here. Take your right hand, we're still sticking with the ice pick grip, okay? I want you to come underneath. You're going up high, bending the arm, okay? And now I'm only holding on to the pen, okay? So, let's go ahead and start another way. He does an overhead, block. Do a distraction, use that reinforced thumb into the ribs, come underneath, hook, right here. So take down, same thing, straighten out. Now, something we found out about this is when you get to this point, unless you're careful, you will stab him in the ear next. Because the way he's looking, if I go to pull this out, I'm going to hit him in the face or the ear. So be gentle with that part. Anybody want to see that one more time?
Yes, please.
Okay, so. Hey! Down. Okay. For submission, like I said, you can hit him in the ear, or you can keep this here, just pull, separate the shoulder.
They have one more time. I changed batteries.
You're good. Thank you. Oh, okay, we'll do it one more time. Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
one with your back to me, that's a better shot. With your back to me.
Right here, okay. Hey!
With his back to me.
Thank you. Matt?
He's like, okay, that's a lot that we did that.
Okay, so, thank you for participating with me. I hope you guys learned something, enjoyed it. If you think that, okay, somebody might need to learn some basic self-defense and don't have the ability to use just their bare hands, otherwise they're going to lose their butts. Okay, you got an idea. Now, somebody just reminded me. You know those little, you go to like seminars in big places and they say, oh, by the way, you get to keep your pen, right? This is not one of those. Okay, so what you do get is you get a sheet of paper. And at the bottom of the sheet, the last sheet, it says Alpha Innovations LLC, Coutons, Polymer, and Training and Stylus. Paren, used to train in seminar. So, if you want to by chance try them, there you go. They're like $6 or $7 a piece. They make aluminum ones like 10. So, I'm gonna go ahead. These are up here if anybody wants one. So, we're gonna go ahead and just bow out, and then I'll play. Tashiwaza. Field skate. Great. Thank you.
What's up? That's good. Great. Great job. Okay, what we're doing this hour and this year's camp, we are devoting only one segment to Big Book Fix-It techniques, and the Big Book is basically my notes that I've taken mainly from Jack Seki and partially from Gelaude, who teaches Tsugo Jujitsu. And even though I've tried to clean them up, sometimes there are typo errors. Sometimes I use right instead of left, or clockwise instead of counterclockwise. And that makes someone else reading the technique, even if even me, some of these I have to read the explanation 2 or 3 times before I get in my mind what the technique is. And so what Byron and some of the other black belts have been doing in the past several years is actually, we would have usually a couple of segments at summer camp dealing with techniques that don't make sense, and I go over them, we get them recorded on video, hopefully someone takes some notes, and the plan is at some point in the future, someone's, I think Byron's going to take care of this, and you are.
Yeah, I'm rewriting them and I'm doing the video.
Together.
Good.
Yeah. And we're gonna eventually come up with an updated version of the big book, which should have a lot of corrections so that some of the techniques are not as nebulous or confusing as they are. And there's one in here that I can't figure this out. I've got to really work through it because there are enough contradictory statements that there have to be 2 or 3 of you to do the technique. So in any case, I'm going to repeat again. It's important. You need to tell your students if they plan to teach the art and be a good instructor, they need to take notes. There are a lot of books on Jiu-Jitsu, there are a lot of videos, in addition to that, there are a lot of videos on Jiu-Jitsu, but when you take the time to record something yourself, whether it be a book or an iPhone or pictures or video, then it's personalized to you, and you're the only one that has to be able to understand it. Push comes to shove. And you need that as a resource base. Okay, we've got these techniques that are in the handbook. I think by the time you get to black belt, you have maybe 120, 140 techniques and variations. And the big book has about 800 something, and so this just scratches the surface. The only black belts of Sekis that are still teaching today, and there are 3 of us actually left, we all took notes. A lot of his black belts have gone by the wayside. They start out teaching and they realize they don't have enough techniques that, okay, once the student gets to the ground, what else is there to learn? They run out of techniques to teach, or even variations. And so it's really important if you plan to teach the art, any martial art, or anything you plan to do in life, is you've got to personalize the information so it becomes part of you. Anyway, I'm going to show the technique, and I'll probably have Byron read it, or have someone read it to me, and I will do the technique. And then if you want to practice it, we can practice it. Or if you want to say, oh, that's really pretty simple, let's just move on to the next technique, we'll move on to the next technique. Okay? Because I want to maximize your time. I want to cover as much material as possible. Well, there may be a technique that, oh, that's a really cool technique, let's practice it. Okay? Or you may think, this technique sucks, let's forget it. There are techniques in there that I don't particularly care for, and this is another thing that you as an instructor have a responsibility to teach everything you were taught, not just techniques that you like, but techniques that you can do well. Because I could show a technique that I personally don't like, the student picks up on it, and they think it's the neatest thing since sliced toast. And that's your role as a teacher, is to provide the information, not to make a decision what your students will and will not learn. Okay, so let me, I'm going to borrow Byron, the first one here, which is going to be, where's Byron? He's going to go home tonight and do that. Long bed.
Right, now my new house, I have a jacuzzi tub.
He has a jacuzzi cup. He can put it up in the jacuzzi.
Byron's house.
What time we're doing this at?
Okay, the first one we're going to do is 301. That keeps it pretty basic. Some thumb finger lock, hip throw, ube koshinagi or yui koshinagi. Okay, and it's actually a relatively simple technique. You just have to be careful with the thumb. And then what's the attack on this?
Lapel.
Lapel grab, that's good and safe. Okay, we're going to have a lapel grab. Okay, he's going to grab, I'm going to come up, grab his thumb. Okay, that's the hard part. I'm going to bring it back. Okay, let's bring it back. I'm going to grab hold. I'm going to do a hip throw. Okay, so I come in here and now I'm going to go down to the value of his thumb. Submission is simply bring this forward, pull that out, and you're done. He's done too. Okay, his thumb is now at his elbow. No.
So it starts off by saying you slip your right thumb under his thumb.
Right. Okay. Okay. Slip under.
Okay.
Okay. Slip under.
And then switch. Okay.
If you don't want to do that, you can just come in this way.
Okay.
me with your fingers and grab it like you grab an udder. Okay? If you tell kids today, grab it like you grab an udder, they are totally lost because they have no idea what an udder is. And then you say it's the udder one. Anyway, you know what an udder is? Good. Don, say yes. You're here. You're just going to come in. This all fits really nicely. Okay. If I put it over like you can do it this way too. Okay. You come in here and around. But you've got, if you value your uke, you have to have it on the thumb a little bit so it doesn't get broken during the throw. Okay. And bring this forward. Pull back. Okay. If you want to, comes in, thumb, switch. Okay. If you want to, you can simply switch hands if you don't want to put pressure on the thumb. Okay. Or here, you can switch to this. Anything you want. If you don't want to hold on to the thumb. Okay. But if you can control your hip throw, that's the key. You have to be able to control your hip throw to protect his thumb. If you're sloppy on your hip throw, switch to hand. Okay, you want to do this one. High or no would be necessary. Do it, he won't mind. How many, do you want to do this one? No, okay. Okay, very good. Okay. You're not going anywhere. This one is 302. Forward neck winding throw, my Kubinagi, Nikio Toshi. Okay. This is a reverse. If I am doing a headlock on my opponent and he decides to lift he wants to lift me off the ground. So he's going to grab, well, he's going to go that way. Okay, I thought he might lift my leg and make it easier on me. But that's okay. If he's trying to lift me, he'll lift you up. Okay, what you're going to do from here is basically you're going to do a Ukio Toshi. You're going to bring this leg up, turn to your left. Okay. That's the technique. At my age, I'm not going to attempt this one anymore. I'm more concerned. I'm not concerned for me. I'm afraid I might not turn enough and you'll land on the top of his head. Okay.
What if he grabs you with
If you grab, that's okay too because you're going. Then you pick both legs up. And the way you get your momentum going is once you pick both legs up, you snap them out as you turn. And that shifts the center of gravity. Okay. For the floating drop throw. Okay, any takers on that one? Okay. You guys are being recalcitrant today. Okay, third one, 303. Side winding throw, Yoko Makikomi for front cross choke. And Byron asked the question, is this technique supposed to be done without using arms? Okay, and the answer is, if you have a good bouquet or he's really holding on well, you should be able to do this. You should be able to do this without using your hands. So if he's doing, if he's doing a cross choke, okay, good cross choke, you should be able to come in, and if he keeps hold, you can just do your winding throw, and it's going to work. If he keeps hold. Okay. All you should have to do, you're just going to come in, turn, see what's happening with you. I'm blocking his arm, then the other, and turn, and he should go. Okay? And if you do this, you'll be ready to work if he doesn't let go. Okay? To keep him from letting go, okay, there are two things you can do. Although this is not in the notes. Number one, okay, if you're coming in, grab with this hand, okay, and that will help him go. Or if you're even more insecure, you can come up this way. So those are your two options, you know, I would never assume a person is going to keep hold. If you're doing a demo, you know, and Uke knows what you're gonna do, and he holds on, it looks like a super technique. But the reality is, in a street situation, it's probably not gonna work.
Because they're gonna let go.
They're gonna let go. I mean, no one is that stupid. Okay. You wanna do this one? Okay. I'm gonna extend class to 5. No. Cross block hand throw, Nagari Juji Tenagi. Per knife thrust. Okay. Want to get a knife? Okay. The reason this technique is confusion is because there's some information left off.
Okay.
Really? Yeah. Okay, he's gonna come in, you're gonna cross block. Right hand stays in place to keep the block going. Left hand can come here, he's gonna come over. You can do a regular hand throw, pivot your left leg back, going down on which knee? Going down on your left knee. And you all know the technique. Okay. And the confusing part is the block. The biggest, it doesn't say, does it say cross block?
It just says block his thrust. It doesn't
Right.
say cross block.
Right. And if I'm gonna stand out here, I'm not gonna just do this because I can get cut. So I'll cross block and leave this in place first. You just wanna make sure you add in their cross block first. And then basic hand throw, you're going down onto your left knee. Any questions or?
That was 30.
305.
305. That's this street number from the house I grew up in. Okay. Worthless information.
308.
308, two-handed knee drop throw, Roto Sionagi, lapel. Okay. This is a sacrifice throw, and Rote Sionagi is not my favorite technique. Hasn't been since I threw some guy that weighed about 300 pounds, and I weighed 150, and we both ended up in the hospital. I walked out. He didn't. He landed flat on his back. That was when I was young and dumb. I knew that straight judo, 150 does not go against 300. That does not happen. And Seki said, throw him. Being young and dumb, if I obey my sensei, I threw him. And I paid for it. And I'm so painful. Because back in the 60s, they did not have orthoscopic surgery. Okay, so I tore a whole bunch of shoulder muscles. Okay, but he's going to kind of, whatever he's going to do, here, I'm going to grab hold of it. And Roto Sionagi, basically, you are coming in like this. Okay, and he's supposed to go over your shoulder. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, okay, and I'm going to drop down onto both knees. Okay, take them over. And that is it. Now you drop down, your back is straight, you don't bend over. You're just going to turn it, you'll come in, turn in the air, drop. But ideally what you're doing, which I wish I could still do, is you just lift your feet up and drop so you land on your knees. This is not a technique you do on concrete. Make sure you're on a nice soft field. That has been tilled recently. Do you know what tilling is? Poor baby, I'm picking on her. Okay. Okay, so again, he comes in, whatever the technique is, here, you're going to bring this in. Okay. And you're going to turn and drop down. And I'm dropping down right where he was. I'm just going to ideally bring him over my shoulder.
Lifting with your elbows.
Yeah, be lifting. Yeah. I can't do it. Unless I have someone who is significantly lighter than me. Okay. Orocho Seonagi. Okay. I think Matthew, what?
When I get into that, I tend to lose my grip on them.
Oh, you didn't see the grip? Okay, we'll show us.
Check about when your grip slips, because it's probably because your hand's bending back.
Your hand should not bend back. Whenever you get your hand back like this, that's a really bad situation. You want to get a broken wrist. Okay. Now, so what you do, because either judo gi, is you grab and turn the whole thing. You keep your wrist ridges of the palm is facing you, because you got to protect your wrist. Because you don't want to. You have no control with this hand here, bent back like that. You're holding on for dear life, and this is a lousy grip. Okay? It's going to get you injuries. The same way if you grab a person with help. I know with judo, a lot of people hold their thumb on the inside, and the guy gets thrown and he rolls over, your thumb gets trapped in the rope. You're done. So I usually teach, if you're grabbing, the thumb is really pretty useless for most judo techniques. I usually just grab with your hand and do the technique. It's not as strong as this, but you're protecting your thumb. If he wants to, when he's done, if he wants to roll out of it 2 or 3 times, that's fine. You're not going to lose your thumb. Your hand may get trapped in his gi, but... Okay, next one.
309.
309 is bowing side throw. Swate Yokonagi. Swate means to bow. This is, okay, grab his left lapel with your right hand close to his neck. Left hand grabs his right lower lapel. Okay. We're going to show, okay, we're here. Left hand, what do we do? The attack is kind of irrelevant here. The left, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. He's going to come in. I want to turn so you. This is the grip. This is what I want to get.
That's what you're going to.
That's what I'm going to do. Okay. You could also grab him this way, I would guess. Okay. Whatever this hand is comfortable doing, you're going to basically steer him. Okay. And steer the wheel as you do the throw. Okay. And this time, if say he's grabbing, and usually this is done in a judo type situation where you're practical, and we're pointing at it. Okay. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop and turn. Bring them down. Okay. Just steer the wheel, and you're going to bend over on this one. Why do you bend over? Come back down here. Okay. Why did I bend over? Because now I want to go into the submission right away. Choke. That's why I'm bending over. Okay? Yeah, I'm not really excited at this point in my life to do techniques where I drop down on both knees. But for those students that are younger and you've got good mats, you can do it. Okay. And the value in doing the dropping, the floating techniques is teaches, or I won't say it teaches students. It helps students learn if you're in a situation and you have to jerk down on this person, they can resist and pull up. On the other hand, if you just lift your feet up, all of a sudden, in my case, he's got 205 pounds of weight that he didn't have to deal with right away. And it's sudden, and that's what makes the technique work. It's just having that extra weight up here that off balances him. Okay. Pulling him down, he can counter. And it teaches students to get the weight up here. And that's the value of teaching the floating techniques. That's the method to the madness. Okay. Next one is 310. Hand throw, tenagi. This is the one that befuddled me. You know what befuddled means? Good, you're not confused. Okay. Okay, this one, okay. Someone want to read me through it?
Yeah. Your left hand, it's a lapel, your left hand comes up inside of his wrist, and your left wrist goes over his hand in a clockwise circle.
Clockwise is not going to work. Okay, unless he's grabbing with his left hand. But let's try it with the right hand first. So let's say I'm going counterclockwise rather than.
Okay. Your right hand comes up to the outside of his right arm from underneath. Your left hand rests on your right hand or forearm, or your right on your left.
Okay, or this way, either way, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Pivot your right foot in at the same time. Turn and walk to your right while pointing your fingers down and then to the right at the same time.
Doesn't sound like you.
Turn and walk to your right
Yeah.
while pointing your fingers down and then to the right at the same time.
That is not a, it says hand throw?
Yes, sir.
That is not a hand throw. Okay, if we go grab with the left hand, go through directions again.
Your left hand comes up inside of his wrist, and your left wrist goes over his hand in a counterclockwise circle.
The clockwise circle.
Be counter.
I'm sorry, it is clockwise. Clockwise circle. Clockwise
for
circle.
me, I don't care about that.
Okay. Your right hand comes up to the outside of his right arm from underneath. Your left hand rests on your right hand or your forearm or your right on your left. Your right foot, pivot your right foot in at the same time. Turn and walk to your right while pointing your fingers down.
That turns right. That gets us nothing as well.
Okay.
Okay. And I've spent a lot of time on this one. So my question, does anybody have any insight as to what's wrong? I mean, there's something wrong in the direction somewhere.
I'm not sure what's supposed to happen.
Well, you're supposed to have a hand throw. A hand throw,
The tenai is always like.
the hand throw is going to end up like this, or it's going to end up like this, some form or variant thereof, or the wrist is bent and you're going to go in the direction of, outwardly. That's a hand throw.
Walking forward with your right foot and pointing down with your fingers at the ground means both your hands would have been pointing in the same direction.
Yes.
It does.
So
And you're pretty clear about that.
Here, and we're like this, okay, like this. Now, if I have it this way,
Right forward with your right foot,
and then
and you're basically shooting them down at the ground like that.
turn down to the ground, and get it that, now we see that one work. Okay, so it's going to have to be,
Okay.
it's going to have to be either does it say Higari
No.
or Hidari?
No. Just his hand throw, tenai.
Well, then it's either got to be, if we're doing, it's either got to be this, and then this, and then come around and rotate so that the fingers are both pointing here. I'm rotating my hands, and step in and back and out, or it's got to be on this side, where I'm coming up with my right hand and over clockwise. This hand is coming up. I'm stepping in with my left, and then as I'm turning out, my right hand is shifting or sliding on his wrist so I can set up a hand for him. And I do it with my left foot back. That is the only transliteration I can come up with.
Let's do
So
that last one.
you want to do the last, you want the last one to be the technique? Let's walk through that
This one
again.
here with
So it's a right hand lapel grab.
this right hand lapel grab. Right hand is going to come up from the inside over his hand, the wrist. The left hand is going to come from the outside. And I can grab onto my hand. I'm going to step in. I'm going to step in with my left foot first because that's going to distract him so I can turn my wrist. I'm going to be here. I'm going to peel his hand off. And I'm lifting this off so I can show what's happening. As I peel my hand off, my right hand is sliding around his wrist clockwise now, so I can get both fingers to point down. Okay. And now I'm going to step back with my left foot. It's going to move down. Okay. This will not be my favorite Tenagi, but some men may think it's fantastic.
Just one time through.
Okay, one more time.
For us to do it.
On the side.
That side's fine. That was the other side. The other side's fine. Just
Okay.
straight through. No.
We're going to be here. Pardon? No, this hand's going to come up. Okay, hold on. This hand's going to come over. I'm going to step in with my right. I'm going to step in with my left foot because that's going to take him off balance. Okay. And as I come back out, I'm going to start turning his hand and allowing my right hand to slide rotate clockwise on his wrist, so that both fingers are pointing in the direction I want him to fall as I pivot my left right back. Okay. That's one technique. Someone may like.
312. That one will get a rewrite.
That one will get a tremendous rewrite.
312.
312. Forward hand for my Tenagi. Okay. Good. The right hand comes. Okay. Okay, this one he's going to grab again. And you're here. Thumb between third and fourth knuckle for the nerve. Okay. I'm going to, what am I doing at this point?
Push on the nerve as you lean in and then away to break his grip.
Break his grip. Okay.
Right hand grabs his wrist from underneath with your index thumb.
Index thumb.
Index and
Grabs the right hand from underneath, this way.
grabs from underneath
This way.
with your one. It says index thumb pointing to your left.
Okay, so it's going to be this way.
Okay. So index finger.
Index finger, not thumb.
All right.
That's your milk weird.
Either before or after he lets go.
Okay.
Both index fingers should be pointing up.
Wasn't one just pointing to the left, it said?
Well, now they're going to point up.
Maybe it's your thumb that's pointing left? Your index thumb?
Okay, I
is
got to
your
point
thumb?
up. Let's not argue with the directions here.
Yeah, it did say point to the left.
Yes,
And
it did say.
Now it says both index fingers should be pointing up.
So it's probably just take out the index and show your thumb goes left.
Okay.
Okay. Turn his wrist in a large counterclockwise arc to your left.
Okay. Now, when I originally learned Tenagi hand throw, the way Seki taught it, it's a nice big arc. Okay. And a nice big arc. It shows, and that's how you do the hand throw. Okay. Most of you know me now know that that technique. I've really changed that technique, particularly with the advanced jiu-jitsu book. And even with my new students now, the reason for showing the big arc is so that students learn to make this movement, okay? Which is a valid movement, okay? But we've changed the hand throw from a big arc to getting the hand bent, and basically you're going to push the hand towards right to the outside of the elbow. You're pushing this, okay? Your arms are at your side, you step in, and you simply turn your body. And it's a lot less work, it's a lot easier for the students to learn, okay? And it works a lot faster. And there's a lot more pressure on it, and I think, I don't know if it was Matthew who was working on when I get up to fire. Once you get this bent like this, you don't have to, you can do your regular hand throw, you can step in and have them go back down, backwards, you can have them go in a lot of directions with this. When you're directing the pressure just to the outside of going down the forearm to the outside of the elbow. Okay? So if you want to have them move this way, and the two pointed fingers are to indicate what? Direction of key. Okay. So there's a method to the madness. Okay. Although I'd never say on the street, your fingers have to be pointing in the direction you're throwing the person because that's the way your key is going. It's not on the street, if you don't have your key going, you're never going to be able to do a technique anyway. Okay. So this helps the students because by simply going in the direction of your fingers, it's amazing. If you think I'm going in the direction, I'm following my fingers, your whole body will follow. And the technique is surprisingly easy to do.
Why do you think you wrote down index fingers pointing up?
I think it was because I'm here, this, as I bend this, that's the direction of my key. As I do the technique, my fingers are going from here over to here. And that's the direction of my key to go in this direction.
You do this circle based on that.
But rather than making the big arc,
Yeah.
So that's where they would have been
That's
pointing
big
up.
up. Yeah,
Okay.
big up.
In
All right.
this arc.
yeah,
Right, so
Yeah.
we're gonna write it this way.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I don't teach that big extension anymore because it ultimately, I have found it messes up techniques later on down the road. When you have to teach students, well, you originally learned it this way, but now we're going to make it a really small arc. Okay? So you might as well teach the students a small arc at the outset and have them go that. Question?
Isn't it better to have that right at your belt, just because then you just have more
Yeah,
control?
it's your body. What happens here, it's my arm doing the throw. Once you're here, now it's your body doing the throw. And you have, doing it here, you have a lot more leverage and a lot more power than out here. Okay.
I mean, as a smaller person,
Yeah,
you
it's
have
not-
to have
yeah.
your body behind you.
Yeah,
can't
I mean,
use
you
your
want
arms.
it right in the center. Ideally, if you could do every technique from the center of your body, that's why Z-axis type thing, your techniques would be beautiful. But it doesn't work that way. We try. Okay.
313.
313.
I put a lot of comments towards the front of it, and they get sparser.
Yeah, I guess, I know that, I've read
Yeah.
that. I paid him some money so that he wouldn't.
Stop paying by the
But if
word.
it seems like we're only at like 20 or,
Right.
you know,
Finger forward throw, you be my nagi. Lapel. Oh, this is easy.
You guys need to do one.
He grabs. Okay. I'm using my left hand to get him off. Okay. Correct. And then what happens next?
Push on the nerve as you lean in and then away to break his grip.
Okay.
Change the hold on his hand to your right hand. Then grab his fingers with your left hand from the back side of his hand,
the back side of the hand, and you have a
pivot to the outside and throw him forward.
forward finger throw. And when you're doing a finger throw, you don't pull. Again, pulling causes your hand to bend backwards, and that's the same thing as from the Moroku Seonagi. This is very weak if you're pulling, and he's going to go if he likes you. If on the other hand, this is all straight, and you're pushing the back of his knuckles, he has a choice. Well, not really, but you know, he either goes or you break 2 or 3 fingers and he goes. And again, you don't need to grab more than 3 fingers. This is particularly important for people with small hands because I don't think you could grab 4 of Peter's fingers. Okay, but you can grab 3. Okay.
Do that one?
Okay. Again.
No.
All of you should be doing something.
Oh, what?
Everyone.
Everybody get up and do one of those?
Yeah.
Let's practice.
Yeah.
Let's practice
Let's
that.
do something.
Yeah, because
The blood flow.
you're getting numb somewhere, or you're getting numb in 2 places. This is technique 313A, or maybe technique number 801 or 840, whatever it is. He's going to grab, okay, we're simply going to pull, he'll pull back, you can turn the hand off, grab 3 fingers, step in, and then from here, we're going to do forward finger throw slowly so Uke can fall at his own speed. And submission, if you haven't broken any fingers yet, is simply turn this hand counterclockwise, palm down the ground, and now it's going to break the fingers. Okay? Remember to turn it counterclockwise. Okay? Very good. Thank you. So now you can do it either the old-fashioned way or the 2013 way. Or in Leo's case, maybe the 1990s. It's really important on finger throws, okay? If you grab 1 finger for a finger throw, the person can twist their way out. Or if you try and do the throw, you're either going to twist their way out or you're going to break the finger. Their finger, not yours. If you grab 2 fingers, they can still twist their way out. But if you're successful with the throw, you will break their fingers. Okay, 2 fingers, you do the technique, it's 2 broken fingers. If you grab 3 fingers, they can no longer twist their way out. It's much more difficult to break 3 fingers, so you can cause a lot more pain, which will get you the cooperation you're after to do the throw. Okay. Yes, it's still possible to break all 3 fingers, but it's less likely. Okay. And your intent is not to break the fingers. Your intent is to create enough pain so that they don't go down and injure themselves when they fall. Okay, because in Jiu-Jitsu, part of our philosophy is that we really don't injure people, they injure themselves. This is different perspective on
It
that.
sounds like big brothers across the United States. Why are you punching yourself? Quit punching me.
Okay. Next row, Fuminagi. This is for a double lapel and it's off ground.
314.
314. This is not a nice technique, so I'm going to ask you to be a little considerate of each other. This is a Gengetsu. You do not attack anything hard with a Gengetsu because you will break you break your middle finger, and you will then get to, anyone you wave to, they will get half a peace sign. Okay. This is what you're going to attack with him. He's going to grab you and he's going to lift you off the ground, theoretically.
Like this?
Yeah, lift me off the ground. I'm going to come in and I'm going to strike, pow, over his ears. Okay. He's going to put me down. Okay. This hand is going to grab. This hand is going to come in, and I'm going to do, I've got to move my feet. I'm going to do a Fuminagi. I'm not going to get room to make one of these big slaps. It's going to be tight down. Okay, now they move around, which will get to the submission. Okay. Okay, submission. You got to get rid of this arm. Okay, this hand is still here. And the submission is simply taking my forearm either across his forehead and going down, or I'm going to go across his cheekbone. okay, which is my preference now. This is more easily, if you just go in line with his cheekbone and push down his, there are nerves along here, and you will get a submission. Okay? And that's the technique. Okay? The hard part for most students, because most of you have learned Fumi-Nagi, and most of you, I'm going to show it this way, most of you, when you learn Fumi-Nagi, most of you are trained getting a big swing. And the reality is, in street situation, if I do a big swing, what is he going to do? He's going to block it. So you've got to be able to come up here on the inside. And you really only need about 3 or 4 inches, 2, 3. And you want to give a good love tap. Okay?
I didn't get that, can we?
And that just rings his bell.
You have to be
What?
side.
That just rings his bell where he gets these disorders.
What it does is it messes with his middle ear for maybe half a second. That throws him off balance. Okay, and that's what allows you to do the rest of the technique. Okay, which is basically everything else is the same as a basic hand throw. Okay, so yeah, just come in here and just, and if you get a nice pop like a clap, that's what you're after. Okay, and all you need is 2 or 3 inches. And that's one thing you probably really should work on with your students, because they're not going to get all this room. And if their arm is being held in for some reason, and you can still do this. It's the hand that does it, okay? It's not all of this, okay? All you're doing is messing with his middle ear for a little bit.
He should even.
Am I recording?
See, Leo, and I have probably, stand up, Leo. I'm not going to pick on Leo. Just stand up. Okay. Leo is a fire hydrant. He was a fire hydrant in the 1990s. He's still a fire hydrant. Okay. Leo does not have a neck. And that, which is really frustrating to a lot of jiu-jitsu people, because and judo people, because they try and find a neck that chokes up, and it's just the way Leo's built. And there's some people that are what are called fire hydrants, and it's not a negative or anything. That gives him certain advantages. Okay, the fact that I have short legs gives me certain advantages. Okay, and your body type, length of your extremities, will give you certain advantages or disadvantages. Okay, and you need to be aware of that, because all your students are not going to be built the same way you are, and where it may work really well for you may not work for half of your students. And it's simply because they're built differently. Okay, so something just to be aware of. Okay, side click.
You couldn't hit my neck.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. What are they, about maybe 3 inches of room? And Peter,
Yeah.
there's no way Peter's going to get his hand in there. Because it's supposed to be below the
Better
jaw.
move that. Can we start by a couple of times?
Okay, so you gotta get right in there. So you have a small hand, you could probably pull it off. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Do you want to try this one? No, because I want to see if you can get that little pop going. You don't want to do it.
We'll do it.
Okay, we'll do it. Okay.
Let's pop it.
And again, I want you to come up again. We're going to have you do a little cheating technique. Second, you have this bad habit of when one thing didn't work, is you can cheat by doing this. We would do judo 1 hour for their Thursday night class. Was for usually brown and black belts only, and you spent 1 hour on judo. You were expected to bring 2 gi, and during the break you changed gi because you were really hot and tired, and you figured now that you've exhausted yourself physically, now you're ready to learn the art of jiu-jitsu. But he also taught us in judo, for a lot of pins, etc., there are a lot of little things you can do, maybe get away with once or twice in the tournament before you get disqualified, because they don't leave any marks. But the reality is those same techniques, if you're in a street situation, can get a person to want to give up really fast. Because in a street situation, you're not really into submissions for this thing. said last night. In a street situation, you want to get done with this person and get out of there. And it's usually, what we do is submissions usually end up being fractures or dislocations or sprains or an injury that's going to incapacitate the person to some extent or put them out unconscious, things of that sort. Okay. What you can do is if you mess up on the Kubidagi, okay, you've done your slap. If you come right on, I'm going to show you. If you take your middle finger right at the base of the skull, stand up straight, right at the base of the skull, okay, and all you do is dig in. There's a nerve there, okay, because you're not going to get a second and third chance to do this to a person on the street. You're my friend. I like you, friend. Okay. That's not going to happen.
How bad is his balance now?
What?
How bad is his balance now?
He's hanging on.
But see, you can do this once and it doesn't work. You've got to do something else. And that's the something else. Okay. So what I want you to do is come out with your, okay. And also be aware, this is generally for nerve attached generally. If you are doing your nerve techniques properly, you cannot do a nerve technique on a person more than 2, maybe 3 times. Because they will become very sensitive, and the moment you put your finger or whatever body part is supposed to go to that area, they are going to tap out or move out of the way, whatever they can. The reason nerve techniques work is because the attacker does not expect them. Okay. So after, and also I learned from the Densho group people decades ago that when you do a nerve attack, when you're done, you also massage generally away from the heart, unless it's the neck or head, and you massage away from the head. And that helps relax the muscles around it. Okay, and that's really important because your uke will appreciate it. Okay, so I want you to come out. See, you can even say, you know, you're my friend, aren't you? And you can come around and do it to the other side. Okay, and now you've got some other techniques you can do with it. I mean, you can, you know, there's nothing wrong with deception in defending yourself. In fact, they both start with the same 2 letters. Okay? Very good. Okay, why don't you come out and try this? You do the same.
My plan is working.
I don't want to segue on nerve techniques too much here.
Hey, how's it going?
If one nerve technique does not work on a person, odds are other nerve techniques are not going to work on them either. Okay? And it has to do with 2 things. Okay? It has to do with how relaxed they are, okay? Their general demeanor, and it has to do with the structure of their muscles. Okay? A skinny, surprisingly, a thin person, it is far more difficult to get nerves, to find nerves on because their muscle structure is very smooth, and you kind of need to get a feel of the person. You know, most black belts, you know, I can tell through here where the high point in his forearm is. I don't need to see his bare arm. Okay, and you know that okay, your right hand bare arm should be a nerve in it. Okay, if you have a thin person, they don't have this muscle distinction. And so it's really hard to find where nerve centers are at times. Okay. Or there's simply, in case of Leo, you know, there's a lot of muscle mass there, and it's hard, it's nice and smooth, you can't get into anything. And Leo is just totally relaxed, it's a great neck massage, same with Peter, you know. And if one nerve doesn't work on a person, don't waste your time trying another nerve. On the street, it's going to be deadly for you. Okay, you have to quickly go to something else. Okay, nerve attacks do not work on everyone. Also, most black belts can turn off nerves.
You can turn off their nerves.
You can turn it off for maybe half a minute or so. Now you're going to feel it later.
Yeah.
But you can mentally just say, okay, I'm not going to feel this, I'm not going to react to it.
It's a familiar
Because I know what the other person's trying to do, and you can kind of shut it down. But it is, you know, once you relax and take your mind on to other things, you're going to know it was there. So, okay. Next one we're going to do is go to the next page.
322.
322. And One-handed forward arm throw, Ude Mainagi attempted to power hit. Okay, easy. Most of you know a corkscrew, like for a hit, here, two hands, take it down, and you throw him, and he goes down, and you can go into a submission because you're holding on to him. The difference here is he is coming in, you're walking through it, it's all done one-handed, he's over, down. The odds are you're not going to be able to keep hold of his hand because he has too much forward momentum. You're going to lose him. What happens if you lose a person on the street?
Get out of there.
You run, what?
You get out of there.
You get out of there. You go in the opposite direction. Okay? And this is a technique where you will...
Let me do that again, switch places.
This is a technique where you are going to lose them down, down to the side, up under, one-handed, and up throwing. And you're going to lose it. Okay? If you grab on with the other hand, you can keep him, but that's not the technique. Okay? This is a technique that's called toss and run. Okay? Okay? You want to do that one, or is that?
Go on the next one.
Okay.
323.
323. One-handed sidearm throw. Ude Yokonagi. Oh, okay. Almost identical. He's going to come in around here, you're going to throw, except when you go forward, you're going to go down off your right knee. Show him. Okay? Is that what the directions are saying?
Yeah, and then it says use his momentum to bring you back
Yeah,
to his hand.
if I keep hold of his hand, yeah, and I keep hold of his hand, he will bring me back up.
Okay.
I would just as soon let him go. I mean, it's kind of like the Tomonagi, which is the stomach drill. It's so much fun to watch the person flying through the air. But we keep hold of people because we have too many injuries. Okay. Forward finger throw.
324.
324.
I think if you just answer his question, it's the...
Okay. Is this word? No, we don't need the word counterclockwise.
Okay. 325.
325. Side hand winding throw. You grab hook in any way. Ideally, again, this is a lot like the technique we did earlier. Okay, how is he grabbing?
Double lapel.
Double lapel. Okay. All you're going to do is walk in and turn.
So it's like the choke one.
Yeah, it's like the choke. And if you want, you come in here, turn, you try to. As long as he keeps hold, it's a cool technique. And he's going to go. If he lets go, then you've got your attacker behind you. And then the obvious ways to keep him from letting go. But what you don't want to do with this technique is I'm coming in and I'm blocking him with my upper arms. Okay, and you don't want to bend over. When you bend over, this can slip up. You want to keep your body straight. Okay, it's a saying. There's actually a hip throw. Let's back off. There's a hip throw where you come in and rather than coming up from underneath, where you come in and you wrap it. Okay, and it's the same movement. Okay, you're trapping his arm with your upper arm. Okay.
327, it's a submit.
325.
You've thrown him and his right arm is up.
Your right leg goes over under his upper arm, the nurse and the arm is supposed to be as possible. Oh!
Is there an opportunity to stop by in this one?
We do Tenagi for fun of it. We do
Gotta get him down somehow.
Judon technique. Sure, it's part of Judon technique. Move your finger, you move. Okay. Okay. All I'm going to do is my right leg is going to go over and under. Okay.
Oh,
And I want to be on the nerve. Okay. I can do whatever I want with this hand. And this is going to go for a nerve where I can pop in the nose, whatever I want.
Slacking?
What I'm trying to do is get this arm as close to my knee joint as possible. And there is a nerve about halfway, 2/3 down, and you may get it. If for no other reason, I actually prefer to come up fairly high in trapeze because it holds his body down. I don't want him to be able to move his body any more than necessary.
Can I get you to switch this way, turn? Yeah.
So we're that way?
Yeah, Byron's feet toward the
Here.
that wall.
So we're going to step up, down. Okay. And do not go down with 2 knees. I
Then
do
you're
not.
off balance.
What?
Because then you're off balance.
I'm off balance, but worse than that, all my weight isn't here. Okay. You want your weight as close to the person. I mean, if you're pinning this way, you want your weight as close to the person as possible. Okay. Yeah.
Slack.
Pull hairs out. Okay, whatever you. Okay, and that's all the submission is. Okay.
331.
331.
Who needs a visual?
331, side throw, Yokanagi lapel. Okay, he's going to come in. I'm going to come in for a hip throw. Okay, and I'm going to drop down onto my right knee. Okay, I'm going to drop down on my right knee facing what direction?
Training obviously facing the opposite direction his original direction when you threw the technique. Sounds like you're facing that way.
I want to be facing that way.
Okay.
Okay, read through the technique.
Go into a regular hip throw, drop onto your right knee, turn your body to your right as you throw so that you are facing opposite his original direction when you're through with the technique.
If I'm turning my body to my right, I'm going down the right knee, I'm going down this way.
That's your left.
That's what?
You went left. No, you went right.
Oh, no, you went right.
You went right.
Turn to
Where
your
was-
right.
Where was the coaching on?
I don't know.
Okay.
So,
It says turn your body to the right as you throw. So that you're facing original.
You were original, the opposite of your original.
opposite. I'm here, and I'm going to turn.
Oh, his original.
As you're getting off, then you
Oh,
start
okay.
going right and plant.
Only if I'm crazy. Here, and I'm going to drop onto my right knee.
So suggestion is maybe it shouldn't be his original direction, but opposite your original direction.
Still be in that direction.
Still be that direction.
Doesn't
Because
matter.
I'm coming at it.
He's coming at me, and I'm facing that way for the hip throw.
Okay.
So, yes, sir.
And actually, it says side throw, the Yokonagi, but then you say go into a hip throw. So maybe you're just going to that position, but not doing a hip throw, because you're still doing the side throw. So maybe the first way you had it wasn't right. If you're not thinking of a hip throw.
I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to go to the right.
Yeah, it's an entry method rather than.
Yeah. So I would
You set
think,
up as if for a hip throw.
okay, he comes in, coming in here this way.
You go like reversal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
You're not doing the Koshinai when you start to set up for one and then you turn and drop.
Right,
your knee.
what is the name of the technique?
Yokonagi.
Not Yokonagi this week.
Yeah, because he ends up taking the side from.
But I'm taking him actually just coming to my
It's an
side.
entry method.
To the side.
That would be awesome to do if they knew they were about to be thrown and instead you go into that. If they knew they were getting hip thrown and then you went into that instead.
Yeah,
Oh, this was like pulling back.
it would probably take care of some of the counters that are done for people who do hip throw.
Right.
And there are counters to it, this would probably negate some of those counters.
Yeah, that hand press to the hip counter
Yeah,
would probably stop that.
right,
We're trying to step out and
right, step around and if you're going that way, so.
so now you're working like this
Right,
instead of, yeah.
right. So, you know, you can play with that, and see what you can do with it. Okay,
I'd give that one to them rather than start another one.
pardon?
I'd let them do that rather than start another
Okay,
one.
let's start, yeah, let's have you, it's a fun technique, it's a no-brainer. Stopping on technique number, where was it?
We've got it on tape.
Yeah, whichever thing, anyway. To continue on with this list, you're going to have to come to next year's summer camp. Although I would hope there'd be a lot more attractive things that would cause you to come than what you looked at me. I want to thank you for the day. If this is your, no, you're, is this the only day for someone? Is this your only day? Okay. See me after class, I do have a certificate for you. Everybody gets a certificate of participation. I just need to sign off what you've done. And some of the instruction you're receiving, if you've been with the Budoshin Jujitsu for a long time, several years ago we came up with a list of topics that we wanted to make sure were covered for black belts for various promotions. And on the promotional exams, you have to take an X number of seminars. And one of the things we've done with the summer camp, one of the purpose of the summer camp is to try in each summer camp to cover at least 2 or 3 of those topics. Okay. And then also by putting it on video for those people who can't attend camp, they still get kind of like the gist of the material from the video. Okay. We're doing technique transitioning, first thing. That's basically moving from one technique to another. Then Michael is doing the whirlpool.
Byron's house.
Pardon? And you can bring some Downy or some, Clorox too, or some detergent with you if you need it. Then after lunch, I'm doing the second part of the counter assault training, which will not be sitting down this time. I do apologize for that. I was not anticipating. I thought what I was covering might take 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm moving around. And then Thomas will be doing shoulder grab defenses. And then that's it for Saturday. So see you tomorrow again. Take it easy this evening. Relax. Take a nice, long, cool shower. Not cold, but a little cooler is really refreshing. Okay, if you have a jacuzzi, you want to take that with you. I can't take that. Okay. Okay, so Tachiwaza. Good speak. Okay. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow.